Store. Make sure to start your day at nextroundlive.com. Get caught up on the latest podcasts and videos from the live daily show, plus specialty shows such as the Mystery Fifth Hour. You can also learn more about the whole staff at Double Down Media, find all of our social media feeds, see the latest videos from our YouTube channel and gaming channel, plus find other ways to consume the show like the Next Round mobile app, which you can download direct from the site via your iOS and Android device. Make nextroundlive.com your homepage and stay up to date with everything from us here at the Next Round.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping on some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And in our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, LT takes off the gloves for in-depth conversations with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmont Vodka. Find these podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
As I walk through this wicked world, searching for light in the darkness of insanity, I ask myself, is all hope lost? Is only pain and hatred and misery? And each time I feel I'm feeling this, I just want to know what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding. Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? As I walked on through troubled times, my spirit gets so downhearted sometimes. So where are the strong? And who are the trusted? And where is the sweet, sweet, sweet harmony? 'Cause every time I feel it slipping away, I just want to cry. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Trusted, and where is the sweet, sweet, sweet harmony? 'Cause every time I feel it slipping away, I just want to cry. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Yeah. Oh, no, no, no. Understanding.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, live show now on a Wednesday, getting ready for the NFL playoffs on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We'll spend a few segments today turning our attention to the NFL postseason, which is always fantastic. More Harbaugh news as we move throughout the day. Always fun to go through college football TV ratings with Brownie. We'll do that later today, but we start with basketball, where Alabama's defense has improved, as Landmine Believers said. Don't let the Tide get hot. Defense has improved 40 spots in 2 games. Meanwhile, Little T and I were down at Auburn to see a slugfest, not a smooth game, of Auburn, number 16 in the country, beating a Texas A&M team that was projected by the coaches to finish second in the league this year, but is off to an 0-2 start.
Yeah, look, Texas A&M. I think they got a ton of talent, and Jay Williams pointed this out on the broadcast. Wade Taylor IV, your preseason SEC Player of the Year, had by far his worst game. Was 0 of 8 behind the arc. He was 2 of 16, and you could see the body language. I mean, when it was a tight game in the final 4 or 5 minutes, they needed a big shot, and Jay Will's like, he's got to get out of this funk. You can see his body language is awful. And it was almost like he was pouting because he was so bad, and all they needed was one big shot to maybe turn the momentum.
As I watched the game, Brownie, it didn't look like, he tells me that, okay, that kid's the alpha. I was watching the game not knowing a ton about Texas A&M, and I was like, I can't tell who really their go-to guy is out there.
Well,
that should have been their go-to guy.
Yeah.
It normally is their go-to guy.
That was a key win for Auburn, and it had nothing to do with standings or rankings or where A&M is in the KenPom, or where A&M is in the net, which, by the way, is 40th in the net, 35th in the KenPom. So it's not that's a pretty good team right there.
Quad 1 win.
Yeah.
Lenardi's got him in.
So, but it had everything to do with the fact that was one of Auburn's kryptonites in the SEC. They have struggled with Buzz Williams and A&M.
Even at Auburn Arena.
Yeah, everywhere. I think Buzz was 5-1, if I am not mistaken, against Auburn in his time there. So You could throw everything else out the window. That's a team you've struggled with. To get that win at home was huge.
Yeah, look, and I think Alabama fans will roll their eyes at this, but this is a reason that Auburn can not only go to a Final Four, they could ultimately win a championship. You just look at the bench and what the bench did last Saturday against Arkansas, outscoring them 46-9. Last night it was 26-6 over A&M. They're so deep, but even when they're off, 39% from the field, 22% behind the arc, they can win with defense. And limiting A&M to 55 and holding a guy like Wade Taylor IV to 2 of 16 from the field, it shows you that Auburn is a well-rounded elite team.
Yep, and that was a point of conversation I had with Brad Law pre-game. You can go watch that on our social media platform. He's a Village Vice on Disrupt the Media. You can get them almost every day over there. All Auburn content, football, and on basketball and everything else that goes on Auburn. But Rockstar, give me cut 3. Before we play, Bruce, I want to give you the question that Little T and I talked about a little bit on the way down, and I talked to Brad Law and a couple other people about this, a few of the fans. Auburn had that Final Four team. They had that team with Jabari and Walker Kessler that was fantastic, and then sort of, flamed out in the second round of the NCAA tournament. And I made this point last night, and I want to see if you guys agree. The Final Four team this time of the year, that year, really didn't get hot until February, and then started playing their best basketball into the NCAA tournament and into the Final Four. That Jabari and Walker team, I thought this time of year, that back then was the best team in the country at one point. I thought they could win it all.
I remember going on, I think it was a Sunday or Monday show from Indianapolis, and I said that. I was like, I think this Auburn team right now, and so that was early January 2022. Yeah. I was like, I think they're the best team in college basketball. And I'm just saying, and people are already saying I'm on my gummies and that kind of stuff. This team is so balanced, and there's so much parity in college basketball. We saw Nebraska dick whip Purdue last night. You saw Houston go down at Iowa State. It's a wide open year this year.
And that was my question, Brown, was can you look at this team and see that maybe they have the talent to make an Elite Eight Final Four run.
Yes, I think absolutely. I think they've got the construct. The one thing that is hurting them in any of the analytics, and especially the net, where they're still behind Alabama, is they don't have any quad one wins. So that has kind of hurt them. And like if they seeded the tournament today, which obviously they do not, I don't think Auburn will be a 1 seed, but I think Auburn will be a 2 or 3 seed probably. So, yes, I mean, that's the kind of atmosphere they are playing in right now.
Well, and these games aren't even close. 8 straight wins since that loss. They've averaged those wins by 23.3 points per game. I would say this, if Auburn really wants to get to a Final Four and win championships, they've got to get more consistent play from the guards. I mean, Holloway, we know he's going to be really good, but he's got to be more consistent.
Like, I am looking at this right now. I think you've got to go all the way down to Princeton to find the next team that doesn't have a quad one win. And you know, Auburn just, their schedule.
Did last night not count as a Q1?
No, it's quad two. I think A&M is 35th.
Yeah, A&M 0-3 against ranked teams right now.
Yeah, I think A&M is 35th. So, yeah, it's going to be a quad two for both Alabama and Auburn last night, by the way. South Carolina is somewhere in the 50s, I think 50s or 60s.
A&M would have been a quad one win if it had been a road game.
Yes,
right?
yes. Road or neutral site. Yeah, it's top 30 at home. So yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that if you're trying to judge Auburn against other teams, you would say, you know, who have they beat of substance?
That's right. Okay, that's a good point.
I mean, I'm not trying to discount last night's win. I just started the show by saying it's a good win for Auburn simply because of your history with that team. But here's the rest of the story. They're going to play plenty of teams of substance in the Southeastern Conference. Alabama and Tennessee and the Kentuckys of the world. They're going to play plenty of those. So you're going to know what Auburn is. Right now, looking at them, they look like a team that could definitely make a Final Four.
Yeah, look, and I mean, you look at the losses, the 2 losses, by a combined 12 points. One of those losses to Baylor. We know Baylor is a solid top 15 squad. But again, you can talk about there's no quad one wins. But when you're beating Indiana by 28 points, when you're beating USC by 16, you're beating Arkansas on the road by 32. These games aren't even close.
And by the way, all 3 of those teams you just mentioned, going into the season, we're all supposed to be quad one wins.
Yeah. I will say this, though, and Scott is showing you the KenPom, and I was about to bring this up before Scott even popped it up there. Auburn is 4th in the most recent KenPom, and the net is what is used to seed the tournament in part. Excuse me, my apologies. The net is what's used to seed the tournament, but the coaches will tell you they live and die by that ranking right there, the KenPom.
Yeah, and by the way, Houston, that's new KenPom today, but Houston and Purdue went down last night.
Yeah, the KenPom, if you want it to react like a poll, it is not going to do that. It's not going to just overreact based on a loss.
I don't believe college basketball really starts until college football is done.
Well,
and how
here
about
you go.
College
started last night?
Yeah,
but, I mean, how weird is that? Yeah, you've got the national championship on Monday, and then on Tuesday night, both number 1 and number 2 go down.
That's right.
Interesting stat before we hear from Bruce Pearl about that, LT. And I know you probably saw this. The last time that happened was 2016, that 1 and 2 lost in the same night. And did you see what happened to those 2 teams in 2016?
Wasn't it Gonzaga and Houston?
I think it was Gonzaga in Oklahoma. It was Oklahoma and somebody,
okay.
I remember. And it was Oklahoma and North Carolina.
Okay.
That's who it was. And they ended up both losing. Last time 1 and 2 lost the same night, but also they both made the Final Four that year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to overreact. I mean, Houston went to an incredibly difficult place to play.
You know, we talk about Jordan Hare. I thought about this last night watching some of that game.
Hilton Coliseum?
Yeah. Jordan Hare.
Or Arena, whatever it is.
In college football is arguably the most difficult place to play. I think Hilton Coliseum, and I was wondering if it's still Hilton Coliseum, that to me seems like one of the most intimidating atmospheres in all of college
basketball. Well, they call it Hilton Magic. I mean, that's what they were calling it last night, a little Hilton Magic for Iowa State. And I'm with you. It seems like a place where undefeated teams go to die.
It was 14-0 to start that game.
I don't think – I'll look it up right now, but am I right that at the under-12 timeout, Houston had 2 points?
Yeah.
I think they only had 2 points at the under-12.
Again, it was 14-0 to start that game.
So the fact that Houston came back and almost won the game was pretty remarkable,
This
actually.
Iowa State program, sneaky good. I mean, they've got 7 top 10 wins over the last 2 years. That's more than anybody else in college basketball.
Yeah,
the mayor's not there anymore. He's coaching Nebraska, right?
Yeah.
Who got the win over number 1 Purdue last night. And nobody's allergic to the numeral 1 more than Purdue is, whether it's being a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament or number 1 in the country.
Yeah.
This is the 4th time in the last 2 years as the number 1 team that they've lost to an unranked team.
Well, I think coming into this season, the most pressure on any coach in college football was probably Jim Harbaugh, and he pays it off with a national championship. But I think it goes back to the Big Ten in basketball. Matt Painter has never had a deep run. He's had these incredible rosters. And after losing to a 16 last year, you got Edey back this year. If you don't make something happen in this tournament, I can't even imagine the pressure around this team once we get to March.
I agree 100% with you. They will potentially be the overall number 1 seed, and they have not handled that very well. And when you go back to Houston, I mean, that's the thing. They're an elite defensive team every year. Kelvin Sampson is an elite defensive coach.
Built into the cake.
You always worry about their offense at some point, right? And what you got last night, where I just looked it up, they had 3 points at the 10:50 mark. That's when they scored to break over 3 points. They had a 3 to move it to 6 at the 10:50 mark.
10:50 of the first half.
Of the first half, you do that.
Remember Auburn, Houston? We were watching that game at the NCAA tournament last year. First half, it looked like Auburn was cruising on to the Sweet 16. And then the second half, they flipped the script.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of that was the free throw stripe for Auburn, but that Houston defense cranked up the intensity, and they're able to do that. And this is going to be so much fun with Houston watching them play a Big 12 schedule. Yep. Like the American is a good conference. The American in basketball is not the Big 12 by any stretch of the imagination. And seeing Houston go on the road, their next set of games, or coming up pretty soon. They're at Kansas and at Texas and back-to-back at the end of January, early February. I mean, that's going to be fun to watch.
Talk about cannibalizing each other. By the way, Lance's lock, 3-0 away from the Big 12, 0-2 in the Big 12 last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I would stay away from Big 12
Yeah,
games.
we had West Virginia at home last night. We had BYU on the road. It looked like BYU was going to be good early against Baylor. That was a quality game that I didn't watch because it was on ESPN+, but continue to see the score updating.
Pretend Big 12 basketball games are 11 a.m. kickoffs, and you're fine.
Or Super Bowls.
Yeah, this might have been a one-off. I will tell you, this league, though, man, I mean,
the Big 12?
Yeah.
Well, just Texas ranked, really good Texas team on the road at Cincinnati last night, barely wins by 1.
Yeah, but Cincinnati was undefeated at home, so that Cincinnati team is – I don't know where they are.
Also in the Big 12. That's just shows you how tough the league is.
Where does
where they
KenPom
are?
have Cincinnati? Yeah, because they were 12-2 going into that game. They were undefeated at home. They were 1-0 in the Big 12.
You want KenPom, not the net, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big net fan.
Are you not?
You can never give me – I know that's what the committee uses.
I mean, I try to tell you that every time. Yeah. Cincinnati's 32 in KenPom.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's, again, not ranked, 32 in KenPom. This is a deep league.
Yeah, it really is. And the SEC maybe has a few top-heavy teams. We'll see if Auburn is one of them down the stretch. More on Alabama's win in a second. But our LegacyCreditUnion.com, sound of the night from Bruce Pearl. The question I was asking these guys got asked to Bruce last night. Is there a chance that this could be one of his best teams since he's been at Auburn? Here's BP.
Do you think this could be one of the best teams you coached here at Auburn?
It's way too early to tell. This has been one of the hardest working teams that I've had. This team has improved more from the summer to the point we are right now, more than probably any team I've had at Auburn. So we're just in. We put ourselves in position. We got work to do. Great crowd tonight, unbelievable, fantastic to have the students back. This was a record crowd in the history of Neville Arena for our students, a record crowd. So it's, that's for Texas A&M on a Tuesday night. We're in everything school.
I don't know. I mean, I think most people are going to default to the Final Four team being his best team at Auburn because it went to the Final Four. I don't know that it was his best team. Yeah. I mean, it was certainly in the discussion.
People forget that final sequence in the first round, 13-4 against New Mexico State.
Yeah.
I mean, the narrative would be completely different on a lot of different things. Watching Bruce coach, and he's always been this way, but there were guys like in football, Bo Pelini, Brian Kelly at Notre Dame, Bobby Huggins, wherever he was, Kansas State, West Virginia, Cincinnati. They scare me like they're going to coach their way into a cardiac. I mean, he is so intense, so pissed. It doesn't matter if it's minute 1 or minute 40.
Yeah. At some point today on our social media platform, we did the question out with the students who were there. He was talking about the students, a record number of them. And if you don't know...
I saw y'all's pregame? Like, we used to walk up to Coleman Coliseum. You just walk straight in as a student.
Yeah. By the way, no ticket needed.
I think you may still do that.
If you're an Auburn student, it's all first come, first served for the students. And so they get in line. Yesterday, I think they told us
look at that.
12 hours that they started lining up out there.
Ain't a chance in it. Like if
It's
I go to
cold.
a restaurant, they're like, we're on a 15-minute wait. Okay, I'm gonna we'll go next door. Now I know it hits different when you're 19 standing in the cold.
Yep. But I'll tell you, some of our supper club kids, Hughes, his girlfriend Bella was out there in a long sleeve T-shirt, and they're at the end of the line, near the end of the line. And I gave her my quarter zip because I was like, it's going to be forever. Little T and I are about to go inside because we're credentialed. We're about to go inside, and I think they were still 30 minutes before the door opened. And but those students, they file in, and I think this was the policy last night. Maybe it's all new now. The student section fills up, and it's all the way down one side of the court and then half of the end zone. And then last night, the students were spilling up into the standing room only, and that was packed up there. It was just an amazing student section last night, as he was saying, and that home court advantage helps them, but then you got to go on the road. And that's why that Arkansas win was so big this past week, because they lost to App State in their only other true road game.
Which is weird when you go back. I know App State's solid, but, I mean, like, you play that game again right now, I think you got a different result.
It could be the turning point game of the season, maybe. They played so much better at Arkansas. LSU at home, and then they're on the road at Vandy, which is a good placement for another road game, and then back home to Ole Miss, and we'll see what Ole Miss is for this Auburn team. Later on, we may get Little T in here to talk about her journey to Auburn last night, and we'll give you a little Buzz Williams, who is very complimentary of Auburn. That's coming up later on the show. That was our Legacy Sound, brought to you by the folks who bring you Engaged Checking right there with Legacy. You get to earn 3% APY on your balances up to $15,000. The annual percentage yield there. Terms and conditions may apply, so always send you to the website, legacycreditunion.com, to get details and apply in minutes. Or you can just stop by 9 of the greater Birmingham area branches and check that out. But I want to talk to you a second about credit card debt and the ability to move the balance from a high rate credit card over to a legacy credit card and save a ton of money. Right now, no balance transfer fees, no annual fee, and 2.99% annual percentage rate for balance transfers. That's for 6 months. That's a great deal right there. Annual percentage rates, the APR. Terms and conditions apply for that as well. Go to legacycreditunion.com, legacycreditunion.com. In the Alabama game, boy, if you're a Bama fan, the one thing you're just dying to see this team do is play defense and play physical. And last night, down 13-3, you're thinking to yourself, oh, crap, here we go. The South Carolina team's about to come to town.
Yep.
Little lethargic, late arriving crowd to start with at Coleman. You're thinking to yourself, this is about the team that was picked by the coaches to finish dead last and had upset Mississippi State over the weekend is on a roll. It's 13-3. And you get a double technical. Some jawing from the South Carolina players and some jawing from the Alabama bench. Rockstar cut number 1. This sort of jump-started the rest of the night, where South Carolina only scored basically 34 points after this double technical. Nate Oates gets asked, what the heck happened on the double technical? And Nate Oates lays it down.
Yeah, Coach Lamont Paris said he believed that double technical was instigated by your bench. Were you given an explanation for that call there in the second half?
They said that our guys were kind of talking. I mean, there's a lot of talking. That run they came out of the game 13. Their guys were yelling at our bench for whatever reason. I don't know. I mean, they made the statement the SEC isn't ready for them. I guess we'll see if the SEC is ready for them. This SEC team was ready for them. So they were talking an awful lot during the game. I don't condone us talking to the other team off the bench, but I heard what their guys were saying right out of the gate. So that quick 13-point run at the beginning of the game didn't last very long.
Yikes!
Nate Oates, by the way, he's not very soft when it comes to how he really feels.
He's straightforward.
He says basically they are up 13-3 and they're yelling at our bench saying the SEC ain't ready for us.
Yeah.
My guys were talking back. I don't condone it, but I heard what they were saying. And from that point forward, It was a different Alabama team.
I will quickly point out the next time Alabama and South Carolina play would be in Nashville for the SEC tournament. They will not face, for those that want to look ahead.
We can only hope we see that.
They will not face one another
So
again.
South Carolina closes 1-7, or 1 for 7 in the field in the first half, and then they miss their first 10 shots in the second half. But I agree with you. This is exactly, the 28-point win is nice, especially after they were talking shit and you turn on a dime. But more importantly, South Carolina held to a season low 47, held to a season low 18 in the second half, and held to a season low 31% from the field. So if you're Alabama and everybody talks about all you can do is score, they look really good defensively, at least in the final 25 minutes last night.
To your point, I would trade the 67 instead of 87 just to see that defense. You know what I mean? 67 may not be enough to win it, but I love seeing finally a heartbeat on the defensive side.
You needed that.
Yeah.
I cannot independently confirm this. This is not something I've tracked. I will reach out to Ken Pomeroy and ask him if this is accurate. But Landmine Believer says Alabama's current offensive ranking at Ken Pom is the highest in the Ken Pom era.
Oh, wow.
Which I think goes back to 2002. I could be wrong about that, too.
I bet it doesn't go back to Jerry Tarkanian's UNLV team.
Yeah, I don't know how long Ken's been doing it.
That left their national championship in a hot tub in Vegas.
I'll be happy to reach out to him and ask him if that is accurate. But I do know what is accurate is it wasn't too long ago that Alabama was like 117 in their defensive efficiency on that ranking, and they're 60th now. They have cranked up the defensive play. And if they can continue playing offense, and this was, by the way, as some people are pointing out in the chat room, one of Alabama's worst offensive performances of the season so far, actually, and they won the game almost 30.
Yeah, I agree
they won it going away.
With Royal Payne, and we've seen this the last couple of weeks. If Bediako would have come back.
Oh, my goodness.
Different team.
This would be, we would be talking about, we talk about Tennessee, Auburn, Kentucky, and maybe by the end of the season, Alabama will be there if they can play defense like they did last night. But Alabama would be right there with those teams with Bediako.
Yeah, I would say this, that you've got, with Bediako on this team, the way they can score the basketball, I think it gives a lot more comfort to the other players playing a bigger role defensively, having Bediako back there to help them out like he did last year. They would have beaten one of those tough teams in that stretch where they didn't beat anybody,
Yeah, one of the
Purdue or Arizona. The
Creighton's.
Yeah, they would have won one of those games at least, which would change the whole landscape. The team's still very well thought of nationally with the nation's toughest schedule.
Yeah, and I will say this about SEC play. I don't know that Alabama's played. I know South Carolina was a surprise team. I don't know how good South Carolina is going to be in the Southeastern Conference. So, and I said this about Auburn. You look at Auburn, like, what wins of substance do they have? And I would say that about Alabama, especially in the Southeastern Conference. I would say it about them in the Southeastern Conference. They don't really have a great win yet. State, that cranks it up a little bit for Alabama. You have to go on the road to State, a little better team than they've played in these first two conference games.
Exactly what I was about to point out, Brownie. You could not have had a better schedule to start out 2-0 for the fourth straight year in the SEC, but now you're on the road at Mississippi State, a team that is
28th in the Ken Pom. That's a good team.
Right now, they're desperate for a win because they weren't supposed to lose to South Carolina.
Yep.
By the way, at home tonight, they get number 5 Tennessee.
Yeah, you'll see how good Mississippi State is tonight, right? Because Tennessee is that's the most elite defensive team in the conference.
Tennessee may be the best team in the country, not just the conference.
It's.
They could beat anybody, no doubt.
The offense is what always plagues Rick Barnes, right? They just go in these
so much
fronts.
experience at guard, though.
Yeah, but they're better, I think, offensively this year than they have been of late.
Well, I think
We'll
they
see.
lose tonight. I think Mississippi State wins the game.
You think Mississippi State
So
wins?
you got State playing Bama coming off a win over Tennessee.
over arguably the best team in the country.
Will they storm the court on that one?
I don't know, boy. They did in Lincoln last night. I don't blame them in Lincoln. I'm
No,
not a big
what have
field
they had?
stormer, court stormer. I don't know what they've been happy about in Lincoln for a long
Exactly.
time. But to beat number 1 like that and to beat them soundly.
Why not storm the court there? Cliff says, look at what Alabama did pre-SEC schedule. Alabama is good. That's what I was just talking about with the schedule. Ross is a Mississippi State guy. Tulu is just now coming back. Tulu Smith. Going to take him a while to get back to his former self. Had a little foul trouble in that South Carolina game. Didn't get his A game at all. Should be good. Should be a good night of basketball. It was a fun night last night. Maybe Little T will slide in here and tell you a little bit about our night. It was a fun trip down to Auburn. Always great to see some of our folks who listen to us who are Auburn fans. Great time with the students. Watch our social media platform for that. Did I ever tell you the question we asked them? I did that already.
You told me.
No.
When we were out there with the students, That's right. We started showing the video and we got away from it. LT sent us a question. So one of the questions you'll see us ask the students.
My first questions were good. I guess those got ruled out, right?
We were all in on, but nobody wanted to answer those.
I'll show those to Brown in a little bit.
Buzz Williams, Bruce Pearl, beer pong. Who would win?
I mean, Buzz looks like he could get after it a little bit.
Buzz, by the way, refuses to stand on the sidelines.
Oh, no, he's on the – yeah, and I've seen that some of the – I think it was Matt Norlander who covers college basketball, I think for CBS Sports, one of the national voices, is like this has become a bit of an epidemic in coaching.
Yeah.
And he showed Shaka Smart basically being a sixth defender in a game. I mean, it was egregious. And he's like, the refs are just letting this go.
Yeah.
You got to, I'm all for the coaches having some movement. They don't have to stay in the coaching box, but you can't let them out on the court either.
And Bruce's untucked golf shirt, and then this guy's in a three-piece suit.
He looks like a 1932 gangster for Al Capone, one of his henchmen. But Bruce, if you're not afraid to paint yourself and skin off with that gut, he's one of those sloppy beer pong players that would do anything to win.
Yeah, wait till you hear the students' reaction. Little T's working on that, and we'll have that out all over the place at Next Round Live, on all our platforms. Remember to subscribe and like there. If you're on Twitter, give us a follow on Twitter. I saw our Twitter numbers last night. We love the input you're putting there. Go follow us there. YouTube numbers, saw those numbers last night. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe if you're watching the show now. Thumbs up for us, heart us, all the stuff you're asked to do everywhere helps us tremendously. The show being brought to you by our friends at Redmont. When we come back, we'll set the day in college football, what happened yesterday and what could happen today or tomorrow. Redmont Vodka is always good today and tomorrow.
Yeah, Redmont Vodka, locally owned and operated. Charles Barkley, one of the great faces behind Redmont Vodka. Make sure you ask for it by name if they don't have it. Tell them to get it. Available in 22 states. Also, your local package store, including the Beverage Place, Pink Package, and ABC stores. Again, it's Redmont Vodka.
Call the Next Round now at 205-734-0923.
Are you ready to make this holiday season one to remember? Legacy Credit Union is here to make your dreams come true with their lifestyle loans. Whether you need a little extra cash for gifts or you want to take that unforgettable holiday vacation, Legacy has the right loan for you. With affordable monthly payments, flexible terms, and absolutely no collateral required, Legacy Credit Union is your trusted partner for your stress-free holiday season. Apply in minutes. Go to LegacyCreditUnion.com to get the financial support you need to enjoy the holidays to the fullest. Again, LegacyCreditUnion.com.
Restrictions apply. See credit union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round hosts a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, presented by Redmont Vodka. LT has in-depth conversations with personalities like Clay Travis and Taylor Hicks. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple and Spotify. And remember to like and subscribe.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness. The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call. LT takes off the gloves for an in-depth conversation with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmond Vodka. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
Okay, before Brownie tells us about A+, you got to give Michigan football an A+ for their season. They're national champions. They're 15-0. They land back in Ann Arbor yesterday, and
nobody was there.
The crowd, it was packed. It was unbelievable. And as they're getting off the plane and the buses, the crowd, both places, keep chanting one thing when J.J. McCarthy's walking by: "One more year, one more year, one more year." Any chance J.J. McCarthy comes back one more year?
I mean, if I was J.J., I would look at it. I think he's still, his upside, his ceiling is massive. But he still is kind of an unknown. I think he will go in the first round. He's probably projected your fourth or fifth quarterback to come off. But this is the deepest quarterback draft I can ever remember. The only thing I would say is J.J., I think his numbers would be better next year. But this team's not going to be as good. So if you're JJ, do you want to go out in your Michigan career winning a championship? Or do you want to come back and make good NIL money, refine the game a little bit, and maybe be the first or second quarterback in the draft in 2 years?
Yeah, I don't know what I would do if I were him. I would imagine, NIL-wise, he can make some good money to play next year, no doubt. I think some of that might be determined, and I don't know when the draft entry deadline is, but I would think he would have this piece of information before that. What my head coach does would affect that decision a lot.
I mean, when you think just timeline on Harbaugh, it's got to be next 7 days.
Yeah, I thought about this yesterday. I think Harbaugh, what he's doing, much like he told that reporter the other night, let me enjoy this. So as soon as he turns his sights and has that announcement, it's basically like his celebration's over.
Yeah, just for point of reference, and I think I'm right about this, correct me if I'm wrong, the NFL has very strict rules about when you can start interviewing certain candidates.
Yep.
Like, I don't think you can interview any of them until they're out of the playoffs.
Well, I think if there is a candidate that had a bye this week, if it's one of the assistants on the 1 seed, you could have interviewed them this week.
And
yes.
the Rooney Rule is still a thing,
Correct.
right? So you have to do a certain number of interviews with a variety of different people. So it just is.
And there's really no rush.
Right. And because everything's a calendar in the
That's
NFL,
right.
you're not losing recruits or a recruiting class or anything like that. So the fact that the Harbaugh thing hasn't happened yet, and I know Michigan has a contract on the table, he could still go back to Michigan, but he's not losing anything by not deciding on the NFL yet. That clock is all prescribed. It's not like in the college window. So maybe we know in the next 7 to 8 to 9, 10
I
days.
think that's about right. I think of a week. I would be really surprised if he comes back. Again, I think he's going to enjoy this with his family, let his team enjoy it, because as soon it goes from Michigan national champions to Jim Harbaugh going to the NFL as soon as he makes that announcement.
Yeah.
And I don't think he wants to hold the program hostage. You don't want to go 2-3 weeks because this is a full 365 job now. But I don't blame him for taking a little bit of time just to live in the moment.
A lot of people made a big deal about him talking about pushing back spring football, that normally they started on Valentine's Day, and in typical Harbaugh fashion says we do that because we love college football. I mean, that's such a Harbaugh line.
That's more of a Dunaway line. That's even worse for Harbaugh.
But they pushed him. Some people are saying he unintentionally let the cat out of the bag in the postgame because he mentioned that they were going to push that back and not start it on Valentine's Day this year. So a lot of people think that decision has been made. You get people that are piecing things together here. They are, suggesting that decision was made because there's going to be a transition here, and you want to give the new coach, whether it's Sherrome or anyone, time to get their feet under them, get their staff hired before you do spring football.
Yeah, that's a great point there.
Yeah,
that he already knew. The process is when it's going to start is because I'm not going to be here.
That's right. And he unintentionally let the cat out of the bag on that one. People would say, I don't know if that's true or not.
We'll talk Alabama, Ross. I mean, J.J. would make Michigan better, no doubt. But just what kind of talent will be around him, I don't know yet. But Alabama's talent, they recruit well. You saw they are way too earlys yesterday. They're thought of really well. Milroe is, going to be back next year, it looks like. He's not going to go anywhere else. So We'll talk Alabama roster after Brownie gives us that A-plus viewing.
Hey, listen, A-plus Tile Home Remodeling is who redid our master bathroom. Scott is showing you photos of the way our bathroom looked when we bought our house several years ago, and we knew right away we wanted to update it. And we just kind of wanted darker tones. That's what we like in a bathroom, my wife and I. And, listen, I'm just going to be honest with you. We kicked the can down the road. We went on vacations. We spent money elsewhere. And finally, Jennifer's like, hey, we put this off too long. Let's do it. So she scoured the internet and talked to certain contractors, talked to people that had used certain contractors, got quotes, and we selected Brad Bell. I'm glad we did. I continue to see these advertisements for these one-day bathroom remodels, and Brad,
yuck. All I can say is yuck.
Well, listen, Brad said, hey, look, you're welcome. I would not discourage you at all from talking to those people. He said, because here's what I know. A lot of times my quotes are about half of what theirs are. You would think one day it would be a much less quote. It's not. And he said, now I'll go ahead and tell you, a lot of times some of those companies are reckless. They just throw a shower over an existing shower, which sounds disgusting. That's not the way you do it. They did quality work. His crews were on time every single day. There were no delays. The communication was amazing. We knew right where we stood every single day. They clean. They were courteous. I mean, I can't say enough good things about them. In fact, it went so well for us. Lance was like, hey, I want to do the opposite of you. I got a darker bathroom. I'm going to go lighter. And that just shows you Brad's not stuck on one way of doing it. He did Lance's. He does master bath, kitchen, master bedroom closets. Listen, that's the places you're going to get your money back. Master bath, kitchen, master bedroom closets. Call my man Brad Bell anywhere in Alabama. 205-422-1758. 205-422-1758. Brad Bell, A-plus Tile Home Remodeling.
Okay, Jace McClellan made it official last night. He's off to the NFL, and just to catch you up to date, Jace to the NFL, Roydell to the portal. So that leaves you with a very young running back room, but one that a lot of Bama fans, including myself, really like a lot. When you got Jam Miller and Justice Haynes coming back, you would feel comfortable going next year with that being 1 and 2, 1A, 1B at running back, correct?
Well, look, you kind of knew what you were getting with Jason Roydell coming into the season, but all of the hype in fall camp was those two guys. And we saw Jam in the regular season. We really didn't see Justice get meaningful carries until the second half of the Rose Bowl. But to have the confidence to give him those carries, I think it shows you where this coaching staff is, where their running back room. Have you guys ever worried about Alabama running backs?
I have not.
I've never seen a non-productive year.
Yeah,
I mean, going into the 2021 SEC championship when Brian Robinson was not 100% and there was no depth behind him, that was about as thinnest and most worried I've ever seen anybody be about the Alabama running back room.
Well,
and he played a hell of a game, and it worked out.
He played a hell of a game, and they won the SEC championship.
Yeah, and then don't forget also, they got 2 incoming freshmen. They haven't shopped in the portal. I don't know if Alabama will shop any in the second wave of the portal here for this.
Riley and Hill are those two guys.
Riley and
in.
Kevin Riley out of Tuscaloosa County, and then Daniel Hill from over in Mississippi. So you
barely Mississippi, Randy, Meridian.
That's true, but still they still fly the Magnolia State flag, Jimmy.
Tuscaloosa West.
Yeah. So I mean, those are 2 very nearby guys. There's no doubt. Didn't have to go far to get either one of those. Again, they're freshmen, so you never know. But I don't. I know they're excited about. I think both those guys are 4 stars in most of the services, so those are good running backs.
Yeah, ESPN Top 300 with our buddy Luganville there for both of those guys. Landmine believer, and he's not the only one that believes this. There are a lot of fans I've seen say this, that they thought Jam and Justice had more big play capabilities and would have liked to have seen more of them at points this year. Listen, I don't think you can fault the way Jace McClellan played all this year. I told you, Jam, the thing I liked about him is I thought he was the best at protecting the quarterback, picking up the blocks. And Justice had a great game, not a great game, a good game, a solid game against Michigan in the national semifinals. Made some good runs there. So,
are you guys a little surprised Jace is going to enter the draft?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
I don't know what his draft prospect is, but I also know as a running back, you got to get in as quick as you can anymore. So maybe that's what he's thinking.
I don't know where they've got him slotted. I would say he's like a 4th-round guy. What it seems to me.
But I think what we've learned in the NFL, right?
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm a 4th-round guy, my best scenario is to work my way into the 2nd round. And what is the money difference between 2nd round, 4th round versus another year of college? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but see, if I'm Jason, I know you got to worry about the body and the carries and all that kind of stuff, but I think he could be a featured back for another FBS Power 5 team. And so if you could get $750,000 to $1 million to go back and be the featured back, and that, to me, it would be a more difficult decision.
I mean, to me, to improve your draft stock, you would have to go to a place that truly believes in running the football. Like you mentioned, like Lane Kiffin all the time.
But if you went to like a Baylor and you had a huge year, like think about Ollie Gordon. Nobody knew who Ollie Gordon was in the Big 12 last year.
He had an elite year. I mean, it would take an unbelievable year to do it in the Big 12 because they just don't play as many high-profile games.
Oh, I get that.
I mean, he'd be ESPN Plus for half of his games at Baylor at best.
But would you be surprised if Jace McClellan went to the Big 12 if he went over 1,000 yards and had 20 touchdowns?
No, Jace McClellan's a good running back, good college running back. I don't know what his pro prospects are, but I'm just saying.
NH3425, NHL mock drafts having the 5th round. It's about right.
Yeah, I mean, if you think you're a 4th or 5th round guy, I come back to school and I have a good year, I might go to the 2nd or 3rd round, and I just don't know that it's worth the risk to do that anymore. Get in the NFL as quick as you can
and
start playing and save your money. I mean, you're a running back in the NFL. You're not going to get – just look at Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's been in the league 8 years. Is that right?
Yeah.
And he is at the end of his career. He's going to go play for another team now, but he does not have much time left. And he's been elite.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Fame.
But the problem is, wonder if Jace doesn't get drafted.
Well, then –
I think it's 80-20 he gets drafted, but if he doesn't,
then he goes free agent, tries to make a team, and we see more and more of that in the NFL now.
I know, but I'm just saying you're not guaranteed money next year, and you are guaranteed an NIL deal. So I think this is a really difficult decision. I wish him the best of luck, and we'll see what happens with Jace McClellan. I do think Alabama probably wasn't that probably wasn't option number 1 to come back.
What do you mean by that?
Like if he came back, it would be somewhere else.
Yeah, I just don't think it would have made as much sense for him to come back to Alabama because
I don't think Alabama has unlimited NIL money. I don't think anybody does, but I certainly don't think Alabama does. And if you're going to spend NIL money, would you spend it on Jace McClellan or other spots right now?
I would have to go other spots.
I think I would too.
Yeah, if I had limited amount of money, yes.
Like if you could pick one to come back, and I'm not saying this was the decision Alabama had to make. I'm just posing this question to you guys. I got to spend. I can either get Malachi Moore back or Jason McClellan back.
Oh, Malachi Moore.
Who's coming back.
Yeah, or go in the portal and get a dominant receiver.
Yeah.
But I hate to say this because, we all believe every player is loyal to your team. But in reality, you probably had to up your money on Jam Miller and Justice Haynes. Because,
probably so.
And I mentioned to you while we're standing in line at the Rose Bowl waiting to get on the shuttle that, yes, Caleb Downs is the freshman of the year, and he should have 2 more years in Tuscaloosa. But the way college football is now, who's got to pay him to stay in Tuscaloosa? The folks in Tuscaloosa.
There's no doubt. I'm sure the price of doing business went up with Caleb Downs. He's a free agent at the end of every season now, and he's probably, I would imagine, going to capitalize on that.
It's what Lane Kiffin, Nick Saban, and other coaches have said. Unlike the NFL, we don't have these guys on contract. They're free agents every year.
That's right.
And that includes Jam Miller and Justice Haynes. So I pose this question to you, not Jace or Malachi. If it was Jace or Jam Miller or Justice Haynes, where do you spend your money?
You got to go sight unseen, at least sample size. I think you would have to go with one of the young guys.
I think I keep Young. Yeah, I say
and
Young.
By the way, I think they were higher recruits than Jace, who was a great Alabama player. He did his role, and he's a reason why Alabama is the SEC champion. He played fantastic.
And you also have the Kevin Riley and the Daniel Hill kids coming in. ESPN top 300s.
Which you've already, whatever deal they got is the deal they've got, right? So they're locked in for a year.
100%. Tough managing a roster. Tougher managing a roster. It's easier to create a roster in college than it is the NFL, but it's tougher to manage the roster once you have it.
Well, because you got a contract. You know what the business is.
That's right. And it's probably at the bare minimum for a good player, a 4-year contract.
Let me ask
so
you
I've
this.
got them locked in for 4 years.
Do we have this in the future where you do have a contract with the NIL where, okay, I've got you for 2 years, and if we have first rights over you for the 3rd year with a 20% increase.
You're going to have to make college athletes employees at that point, which has been the hesitation in that. I mean, they're going to have to be considered.
It's inevitably got to happen.
They're going to be considered compensated employees.
But that's where we're heading. Charlie Baker's meeting with the NCAA folks again this week. That's where we're headed, this new division that's going to be created at some point.
Yep.
Maybe not this year, but at some point they're going to create this. And those people, I think, are going to tap into the television money to pay the players. Jim Harbaugh talking about it after the championship. And at that situation, then the contracts are going to come out. Okay, you're getting into the TV money now, just like the pros. So we've got to have some contractual obligations. It'll just be interesting to see, are they 4-year deals, 3-year deals, 2? Are there variety? Can I sign one player for 1 year and one player for 4 years? I mean, it'll be interesting to see how we do it. But we're about to tap into the TV money, which has never been tapped into before. That's why the NILs have to do when they create this new division. And when they do that, you got to have contracts.
Well, the reports are the 6 additional years of the playoff that are up for bid right now. So for those that don't know, ESPN still for 2 more years holds the rights to the semifinals and finals. The early round games are up for bid. Pete Thamel of ESPN, I would imagine he's got pretty good sourcing inside ESPN, is reporting that ESPN has made an offer for all of it, right? And that offer was for the 6 years, $1.3 billion.
And then Fox might be able to cherry pick some of those, right?
Well, not if ESPN gets this deal. If ESPN gets this deal, they would have absolutely everything.
I know they've got control, but I still heard that if they get this deal based on what they pitched, they would allow Fox to come in on the backside.
They might sell them to Fox.
Yeah, that's right.
They might sell some of the games to Fox.
So ESPN would buy it up front and then sell off parts.
Which could happen, but the offer, what the colleges would get, is reported to be somewhere in the $1.3 billion range for a 6 year. For a 6-year deal.
Oh, I wouldn't take that.
Do you know how much that is?
I do. For a 6-year deal, 1.3.
That's $20 million a game.
Yeah, that's. I will tell you this.
Do you know what the CBS was paying for the entire SEC schedule?
Oh, I do, and that's why they're not doing the SEC anymore. They pissed the SEC off.
But Jim, that was like $60 million for an entire season. This is $20 million per game.
ESPN brought in $90 million in revenue Monday night for the second most watched game.
I know. But okay, so do that. So $90 million.
Yeah, over 3 games. Do that. $90 million over 3 games.
Oh, that's $270 million.
That's $207 million a year. And you want me to? I'm only going to pay you $20 million a year? That doesn't do. That's not.
But you're talking about for what, the national championship game?
It was $90 million for the national championship game. The Rose Bowl, I guarantee you, they got more ad revenue.
I think the Rose Bowl was higher rated. Actually,
it was higher rated.
They got higher ratings.
They got more money.
But I've also got to show the 5-12 game with a group of 5 team in it.
Yeah.
That ain't going to make me $90 million.
It's not, but it's going to make you 45, I bet.
Oh, Dunaway.
It
You're out of your mind.
No.
You think you make $45 million off Tulane out of Oklahoma?
Do you want to go out in the lobby? I'll get Kelsey to do sales 101. That 5-12 game is going to be part of the package that goes with that
Well, it is going to be part of the package.
Is that right? You're not going to sell that 5-12 on its own.
Will be
You're
part
not.
of the package.
It'll be part of the package, but the college football playoff also knows it's the least attractive part of the package.
Yeah, but you know what's going to happen? Fox is going to overpay for that 5-12.
Well, you say to get in.
They want to have some of that, so I'm going to make more money off of that ESPN than I was going to make if I hold on to it.
If it's Ohio State against an undefeated SMU, that's still a big draw.
Ohio State fans will watch. That's right. Later on, I only saw the top 5, Brown, and Birmingham wasn't in it.
Well, I can tell you why.
Okay, when we come back, a little television rating since we have it up.
Including the NFL?
No.
Did you not see that, though?
Just college football.
Okay.
We can throw the NFL in on the next side as well. But it's interesting that Birmingham wasn't top 5 in the college national championship game, but it didn't have an SEC team in it. Brown will break that down for us. We'll talk a little NFL TV ratings and get to that. Our first guest is basketball's Ron Slay. He'll be with us at 10:25. I think the last time we had Ron on the show, he was driving from Nashville to Auburn to do a basketball game last year.
That is correct. Very good memory, Jim.
And we almost tried to put his headband on to try to make the drive down 65 easier. We'll talk to Ron Slay, who sort of is the Roman Harper of basketball for us. We don't know where in the hell he's going to be when he jumps on the show. And then Andy Kennedy, head coach of the Red Hot UAB Blazers, join us to start hour number 3 at 11 a.m. Can't wait to talk to AK. That's coming up on the show. That's being brought to you today by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision, bringing you that look ahead.
Yeah, make that phone call that I made, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation, 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Speaking from experience, got the procedure done over 20 years ago. I still have 2015 better than 2020 vision. 205-969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
You can't ignore the elephant in the room. Watch it at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
It's time to start thinking about employee holiday gifts. Consider getting your hardworking guys a pair of Red Wing boots. Each day, your employees are on the job site helping your company succeed, so reward them with comfort at its best. The Red Wing mobile shoe truck can visit your shop and fit your employees with a great selection of boots. Or Red Wing gift cards can be purchased at your local Red Wing store, available in all amounts. Whichever program you choose, your employees will appreciate the quality service and selection from Red Wing Shoes, and they'll also be thankful they have such a great boss. Reward your employees this holiday season with Red Wing Shoes.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
You want to look great while supporting your favorite show? You know the place to go is the official Next Round store at nextround.store. Yes, there are .store domains, and we have one. From shirts to hoodies to hats and all kinds of fun stuff, you can rep the Next Round anywhere you go. At the beach, Next Round hats to block out that sun. Up north in the winter, get you a comfy Next Round hoodie. Just need something to put your $20 beer in at a game? Get you a Next Round koozie and throw that thing in your pocket. You never know what stuff Jim's going to make me put in there next. Check it out. It's the Next Round store at nextround.store.
There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, prepared fresh, daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got two great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with walk-ons.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
When it comes to great clothing, I love comfortable clothing that I can also wear to the golf course or anywhere I go. I get that from Roback. Ryan Brown here for The Next Round. Whether it is the softest hoodies you'll ever find, they're great quarter zips, the polos, the pants, the crew necks, you can get them all at Roback.com, and we're helping you save. Your first order at Roback.com can get a 20% discount when you use code TNR20. That is Roback.com, code TNR20 for 20% off your initial order at Roback.com.
That was fantastic.
I'm doing two things.
The show shows up on Twitter, on X, in a red bar at the top. And I just noticed that. I don't know if that's new or if it's been doing that since we started this, Lunsford. I don't usually look at my phone app during the show, but I did here for some reason. And I clicked on it real quick, and the audio started playing. And Brown said, "Oh, I love that show," right before we came back. And LT said,
I said, what show are you talking about?
what show was that?
And Brown's like, that would be us.
Yeah, I mean, I barely caught it.
Yeah. Later in the show, you've Little T, who was in her element yesterday, will tell you, hopefully I'll get her in here to tell a Janai Broom story for the ages that had her debating whether or not we needed to go to CVS.
CVS? Not CBS?
CVS, the drugstore.
Gotcha. All right.
So that's hopefully a little bit later on in the show when we talk about our trip down to Auburn last night. Auburn and Alabama win in basketball. We did that in the first segment. Andy Kennedy coming up to talk UAB to start the final hour of the show that's being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. We'll get into these TV ratings in just a second. Hemp Hill Services will make your heating and cooling top rated.
Yeah, look, I think it was 31 when I left this morning. You need to make sure that unit is keeping up with this changing weather. 205-229-2090. Hemp Hill Services. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew. The guys there, hard to stop a train. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. They're going to hook you up with that $69 tune-up. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
All right, so we're sitting here, and we're looking at TV ratings, and I don't know how many years this happens, but it happened this year, and it seems like it's close every year between Rose Bowl and the national championship game. This year, by about 2 million viewers, the Rose Bowl semifinal game, Alabama-Michigan, beat the national championship game. You're good at doing this, Brown. Would you break this down for me and tell me what these numbers tell me?
That the Rose Bowl beat the national championship game.
Yeah.
That the Rose Bowl kicks off in the middle of the day or middle of the afternoon, early afternoon for most of America on a day where everybody is off. And it's a game that's got a lot of history. And you had two absolute national brands in Alabama and Michigan playing. I mean, it would have been hard to find a better matchup name-wise and meaning of the game-wise. I mean, that was a college football semifinal. So
almost like it was built by the committee.
Oh, yeah, I mean, everything added up.
By the way, the national championship for a good majority of the game seemed like it was kind of a blowout. It wasn't, but it seemed like it kind of was. And the Rose Bowl went to overtime.
Yeah, it never got more than 7 points one way or the other. And it only got 7 points. Well, it was 7-0 early, obviously, and then 14-7. So there were times where it was 7 points.
And I still believe that Alabama's a little bit of the evil empire, and the fact that they're in, if Alabama was winning the game, I think the viewership would have dropped off a little bit. A lot of people tuning in to watch Bama lose.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I don't think if you're the Rose Bowl, you could have designed it any better. You're in your normal time slot. You're on New Year's Day. Actual New Year's Day. It's not even January 2nd. Actual New Year's Day where everybody's off. You've got Alabama and Michigan, 2 national brands, and it's a college semifinal game. I mean, that is about as good as they're ever going to do right there. And then it was a close game that went to overtime. So if you were to build something to get good TV ratings, that's exactly how you would build it. But it is not uncommon that the Rose Bowl either ties or beats the national championship game. Yeah, as much as we bust on them for keeping their tradition, there's a reason they keep it there.
Yeah, and like I said, even when an SEC team's not in that game, it's right up there with the national championship. But the one I was taken aback, I only saw the top 5, and usually, Brown, you're where I see it usually on social media, bragging about Birmingham in college football ratings, no matter what week it is, week 0 to week whatever. Birmingham usually does well in the television ratings, but I didn't see them in the top 5. What happened?
So what you saw was the metered market ratings for the top. I don't know how many markets it is. Where is Birmingham now? 42nd?
I don't know, but usually it's all metered markets. But I guess they're starting to meter some of the smaller markets.
Birmingham is a day delayed. So ESPN did not have access to the Birmingham data because I know when I get ratings for stuff like that, I have to wait a full day after the game. So the Birmingham ratings, what is today? Wednesday will drop today.
So this was basically, they call it overnights.
This would be overnights, which Birmingham does not get anymore for whatever reason. I don't know why Nielsen does it that way, but I'll see if I can get a ratings number to see where it would rank.
Yeah,
I'll be happy to do that.
But up there obviously was Columbus.
I would
Seattle.
be stunned if it's not right up there with those teams.
Yeah,
I just wonder how many. Like I talked to an Alabama fan yesterday, and he said I didn't listen to y'all's show last week. He's like, I had to get away from it after the loss. And I wonder if there are, like, if you guys being Bucks, Lions, Dolphins fans, we're still going to watch Super Bowl if our team loses, even a heartbreaker in the championship
I'm going to watch the playoffs all the way. Yeah.
I just wonder if there are Alabama fans out there that didn't watch the national championship because of the loss.
There might be some, but I think more Alabama fans would be like me who, even though the game was in hand, I watched every last minute of the game because I knew it was my last college football game of the year. And I was going to soak in as much of it as I could.
There would be some Alabama fans that would watch that and saying,
long
run there, that should have been us.
That's right.
Long run there, 17-3, that should have been us.
Yep.
34-13, look at that confetti. It should be crimson and white.
Well, that's a double beat down, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a tough watch.
Well, sometimes you got to.
Not that I know anybody who watched it that way. I'm just saying it's a tough watch.
Sometimes you got to discipline yourself, though, don't you?
Yeah.
That's just self-discipline right there to say, yep, I'm going to watch it. I should have been there.
What was the NFL ratings you wanted?
They averaged right at 18 million viewers. They were up 7% from last year. I think the only total broadcast that was down was Fox by 2%, but I think their late game was up.
So this is full season, regular season is what you're giving me
Monday
right
Night Football had its best season since 2000. They averaged about 17.5 million. That was a 29% increase.
How about that Prime game?
Amazon.
Hey, you're going to be shocked, Rocky. When I saw that, I was like, damn.
Let me guess, 14 million.
So the Prime game, hold on, I've got it right here because I read this earlier. Yeah, here we go. According to Nielsen, the 16-game Thursday Night Football package on Amazon Prime averaged 11.8, a 24% increase. I think a lot of that is people just getting used to digital, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's only going to go up. They're getting bad games, though. They got, I don't know. There are a lot of times I didn't watch it, not because it's easy for me to get. It's just as easy as it is for me to get on DirecTV stream, but the game sucked.
What do you think the median age of Prime Video's audience was?
18 to 34.
The actual age?
Yeah, the actual age.
25.
I'd say 38. It ain't going to be
48.5. Yeah. But that was 6.9 years younger than the average median age viewers watching the NFL on Sunday, which was 55 and a half years old.
Yeah.
Honey, can you hand me the remote? I got to change that channel. Those are the people watching Fox.
Anyway, football, what we would say, is really healthy in this country.
Yeah, it's a good business to be in.
I will ask you this. Did the fact that we kept hearing stories about Al Michaels all season, does that impact your Thursday night enjoyment?
Yeah, I mean, you don't like the fact that he doesn't like Herb Street. I mean, it's kind of weird.
I like Herb Street, and I'm growing less and less fond of Al Michaels.
It's more the games for me. I mean, I'm with you on that. It's kind of an annoying storyline, but the games just aren't great.
Well, there were 2 games that got $15 million, and one was Seattle and the Cowboys. Not a shock
you
there.
do anything with the Cowboys, get 15
And then
million.
It was the first game of the year when the Eagles hosted the Vikings.
And how many million was that?
Over 15 for both of those.
15 seems like a low number.
Ooh,
seems like we were higher than that.
Seems high on Thursday night.
Oh, you're talking about Thursday. Yeah. Oh, those are high. Yeah. But like the big games in the weekend draw basically what the college football national championship did.
Sunday night averaged, it was their best since 2015, 8% over last year. It was $21.5 million on Sunday night.
Yeah. America's night.
I will be interested to see what this Peacock game does. There's been a lot of hand-wringing about it. So I'll be interested to see what kind of audience it gets. That's a playoff game.
It is a playoff game. We will talk the NFL playoffs in our next segment, including your 7-day future forecast for Miami and Kansas City, which is a big storyline. That's in our next segment. We'll do a little weather and traffic and talk NFL playoffs. Being brought to you by our man, Dr. B. If you're rolling around in the world and you've got that growing bald spot that's starting to look like the Sahara, or maybe it's the Amazon where we lose a certain amount of inches every day of the Amazon, the rainforest. Maybe you want to call Dr. B, the guy who will save the rainforest of your hair.
You know, my kids, when we'd be in the pool a few years ago, they'd be like, oh, you're starting to get a little thin up top. And I thought they were kidding because, I'm almost 6'3", and when I look in the vanity, everything looks fine. And then we started doing this venture, and I turned to the side, and I could see that I was thinning out. That's why I went to see Dr. Beckenstein when I asked around. So I'm going to be hypocritical here because I've always said if you see a friend thinning out, you should do something about it, say something. I saw one of our friends the other day thinning out, and I didn't say anything. So I'm going to ask you guys in break if we should say something or not.
Well, it's not me. Is it Brown?
No.
Okay, well then.
Hey, he's held steady for a while.
Thank you.
Then the rest of them is on their own.
T3hair.net. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training, genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today, 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
Follow John Lunsford on Twitter @JLuntz.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
The next round is so much more than the show you get from 9 to 1 each day. So make sure to head to our official YouTube channel @NextRoundLive and subscribe to get all of our latest content. We, of course, have plenty of specialty content and shorts based all around the sports in the heart of the SEC. But we also talk pro sports, gambling, lifestyle and entertainment, and so much more. It's the Next Round YouTube channel where you never know what you're going to find next. Subscribe now to see the latest content and get notifications when we go live. That's @NextRoundLive on YouTube.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Support the show and grab some great t-shirts and hoodies right now in the Next Round store. Buy the Alabama State Map shirts in your team's favorite colors, the popular Y'all Can Have the Rest, or Next Round flag shirts are also online now. Just go to nextround.store. That's nextround.store. The traditional Next Round logo shirts are there too. Buy them for yourself, or they make a great gift for someone else. And let us know what you'd like to see in the store coming up. Nextround.store. That's nextround.store.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We're about to talk a little college basketball with our man Ron Slay. One segment a little early here. He's ready to go. We're ready to go, so no need to delay. As Brown brings him in, I will just point out last night, number 16, Auburn, winning down at Neville Arena, 66-55. Hard-fought game, 8th straight win for number 16, Auburn. And Alabama finally played a little defense, beat South Carolina like a drum, 74-47. They're 2-0 in the SEC. And the SEC play continues tonight, including a good one. Number 5, Tennessee, who this guy knows a little bit about, maybe the best team in the country after number 1 and number 2 lost last night. But on the road at Mississippi State, where somebody on this panel thinks the Vols lose tonight.
We'll get to that with Ron Slay. He's already laughing. You see him on the SEC Network. He's always kind with his time with us. What is up, Big Ron? How are you today, buddy?
Man, how you guys doing, man? In the middle of traveling right now. Headed to the hotel. Just got off the flight. So, in the middle of transit, I'm good, though, man.
I hear you.
Excited about this.
Hey, I wanted to ask you one quick thing before we get into basketball. Charles Barkley being a local guy, we've known him forever. He told us some great stories back in the 80s and 90s about how hard NBA players would go the night before a game and into the wee hours of the morning. And you playing overseas, and we had an incredible story from you on this panel last year where you were talking about people burning toilets and throwing shit all over the court. I wanted to ask you, all those years overseas, what is the latest you guys ever stayed out and played a game the next day?
Oh, well, you got to understand, man, like the games are at night, and shoot around is usually in the middle of the season. It's, you get in there getting your free throws up, you pretty much ready to roll. So I'm gonna be honest, I know we came in about 7 in the morning. One time we were playing in Milan, though. So, the parties don't start in Italy until like 2 in the morning, and then they carry over to 6. And then if you got a little bit of status, they'll stay open till 7 sometimes.
So did you ever have a time though? Like you would just get out there and sweat it out. Did you ever think you were going to lose it on the court at any time?
Oh, no. I was going to be fine on the court. Once it's showtime, it's showtime. All I need is about 4 or 5 hours of good sleep, man. Give me a good meal, then get a pregame nap. I'm ready to rock and roll. It ain't going to never interrupt the basketball. That's guaranteed. I've been doing that since I was 6 years old, man. That's the easy part of it.
3HL up in Nashville is the show he's part of with Dawn and Brent. And you can also follow him on Twitter at @TheRonSlay. Slay. You'll see him on the SEC Network tonight. Let's start with Alabama's win over Texas A&M, Alabama's win last night over South Carolina. They have improved tremendously on defense. Is that more of a function of teams they're playing, or do you look at Alabama and say it is finally clicking Nate Oates' defensive philosophy with this team?
Well, I think it's a bit of it is clicking. Also, when they play in the confines of their own home, they're a different team. A lot of teams go down there and they forget that just who they're playing, and they'll start, trying to match them for 3 for 3. Like they live by the 3, die by the 3, and it's fine because that's their system. But you get caught in the game like South Carolina did to me after halftime of trying to match them with threes and trying to score with them instead of, concentrating on defense and getting stops. And once they get rolling, man, they are okay to live by it. If you miss a 5 or 6 straight threes, you may drop your head, start thinking you need to do other things. Alabama don't roll like that. They're gonna get it done. But I do think it is a step in the right direction for Alabama defensively. And they're starting to realize, there is no more Clowney, no Bediako, no Brandon Miller out there on that back end to clean up and protect that rim and get defensive rebounds. So they're doing it better as a collective unit and keeping guys in front of them a lot more. So we'll see. We'll see if they can build on that. But I think Mark Sears, man, is doing a terrific job on both ends of the court, leading this group, and they're starting to follow.
You mentioned Brandon Miller, and obviously this roster doesn't have an elite player like that. They've got a lot of guys that can score the basketball. But Mark Sears, to me, seems like that guy that can become a closer for Alabama in tight games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they saw it last year. Hence Bradley transferring, hence Javon Quinterly transferring. Like, I think sometimes you see the writing on the wall. Like, this young man stepped into a role last year with all those stars, and he shined bright as well. So it was only right for him to be able to take another step and go, even with all the hoopla of Estrada coming in, Grant Nelson coming in, Mark Sears, it was looking like, hey, man, y'all must have forgot I was here. So he stepped right in, and, yeah, he's a closer. I believe that. And he's a guy that can do it on all 3 levels, getting to the basket. He has a savvy finishes and things of that nature, and not scared to go in there and get contact. And he understands that he's going to draw a lot of attention. And he's fine with giving the kickouts, too. So creating for guys, getting better shots, he is that guy that you want the ball in his hands and feel comfortable with.
Ron Slay on his way to the SEC Network. Big doubleheader night there tonight, including number 5 Tennessee and Mississippi State and Starkville, then Florida and Ole Miss on the SEC Network tonight. Ron, I'll ask you this. My power rating right now is Tennessee number 1 in this league, maybe in the country after what happened last night. Number 2, I've got the Auburn Tigers. Where do you have Auburn right now? How do you think Auburn is playing? I know the schedule hasn't been as challenging as some other teams.
Yeah, Auburn, I think, man, is tough. I think, man, especially when you get Jalen Williams playing the way he is, you see Bruce Pearl's system thrive when he has a 4-man that is a mismatch and he has a point guard that he can really depend on. And the step that Aiden Holloway has taken, the maturity he's showing, you know what you're going to get from Broome, but Jalen Williams really exerting himself and coming along. It's really good to see those guys. I'm a believer in Auburn. I remember talking to Coach Pearl at SEC Media Day, like, hey, man, well, you got a lot of motivation. They underselling y'all, man. It's a little bit of disrespect. He was like, nah, they got us right where we're supposed to be. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, come on, Coach. I know you, dog. You're going to use every bit of this motivation to go forward. And that's what he's saying. He got the team buying in. You got to give some love to KD Johnson, too, man. He's been a guy that can be a wild card at times, but I think his leadership has really paid dividends for these guys. And they got a really, really good team, man. Really good team. And I expect to see them make a nice stretch run here going into this SEC play.
All right, Ron Slay is with us, played at Tennessee, obviously. His former team, as Jim mentioned, one of the best in the country, is on the road at Mississippi State. Jim mentioned that somebody on this panel thinks State might win this game.
Well, it's not me.
It's not me. He sits to my immediate left here. It is a tough one. I do want to ask you, though, Ron. We know Rick Barnes is going to have great defense. It seems like the offense has matched better this year than in years past. Do I misread that?
No, I think you're spot on with that. And I think you have more confidence in these guys. A lot of times with Tennessee, when they start missing shots, that right there can work against them because they drop their head and they start moving the ball like, okay, let's run the offense. The ball will find a good shot. This year, it's a little bit different. You got veteran guys out there who don't mind missing a shot and taking the next shot, especially with a guy like Zakai Ziegler, with the way he's come on. So you got Dalton Connect, who's started a little slow, and I expected that, honestly. Once that film gets out, you're not going to be the one guy to go and beat them. You got to be a special human being to never played in the SEC, go in there and then not understand that, hey, man, they're gonna mount up to stop you. And that's what he's dealing with now. But he got guys to bail him out in the experience around him, and Josiah Jordan James, Santi, Zakai Ziegler, and the step that they do in Owaka have taken is really, really big for those guys as well. So I think this is gonna look well. This is gonna look well for Tennessee going down the stretch, and their offense, it shows that. Even though it's like an 8-point difference than last year, it has shown, man, that they're shooting the ball a little bit better. And I just think it's confidence more so than anything.
You know, I saw in the chat room earlier, people were talking about Reed Sheppard when we turn to Kentucky right now, and another double-digit win last night. Antonio Reeves seems like, a guy, he's averaging almost 20 points. People would say that's probably the most experienced, best player on this roster. But Reed Sheppard coming off the bench, he's not getting a ton of minutes over the last month, but this dude is good. Could you make the argument, like somebody said in our chat room earlier, that Reed Sheppard is maybe the best player on this roster?
I would say he's the most consistent player on that roster. When you look at it, because of the stardom that all of these guys come in with, that's it. That all these guys come in with, I think it was easy for him to fly under the radar. You see a guy like DJ Wagner, you see a guy like Justin Edwards, Antonio Reeves coming back. The list goes on and on. Dillingham, everybody else. It's like, whoa, what are we gonna do? Man, this man answered the bell. So you talk about efficient, not turning the ball over, giving a guy the ball at the end. That shows so much. Him getting the ball at the end and being able to go and knock those free throws down. Like, it was no ifs, ands, or buts who was getting that ball and who was going to keep the ball. He didn't pass the ball. He knocked those free throws down at Florida and sealed that game. Reed Sheppard is a guy to reckon with. And I tell you what, man, whatever you got to do, I'm trying to keep him around for all 4 years. I don't know if it's going to happen, but boy, if I'm Kentucky, I'm trying to keep him around for sure. He is a gem.
Okay, before we let you roll, and we know you're in transit right now.
He's at his destination.
You were a highly recruited guy out of the powerhouse Oak Hill Academy back in the day. What is your worst recruiting experience you can tell us about?
My recruiting experience going into college?
Yeah, the worst. Like, did you have a bad one, an awkward one where just something disastrous happened?
Man, you know what? I don't have an awkward recruiting experience because the craziest thing, dog, I took no visits. I took 0 visits. I was a verbally committed going into my junior year, coming out of my junior year to Tennessee, because all of my friends were going over there to play football. John Henderson, Buck Fitzgerald, so forth and so on. Knew Andre Locke from Memphis Melrose, all these guys. So I knew Vincent Yarborough, Tony Harris, all these guys that were on the basketball team. So I verbally committed, got to Oak Hill. This is the funny story. Got to Oak Hill, and we were there in preseason practicing. All the coaches are able to come up, so we got Gary Williams there, coming from Maryland to see Steve Blake, Pete Gillen coming to see Travis Watson. Tubby was coming at the time, fresh off the national championship. About to go win the national championship, but taking over that squad, coming to see Cliff Hawkins, Abdul Jameh. We had a guy, Rashad Karoof, there as well, that was practicing with us. So we had all these coaches there, and no Tennessee coach was there. So it went like 2 days, and all these coaches showed back up. So after the second day, I went in the office with Coach Smith. I said, "Hey, Coach, man, listen, dog. Man, I think I want to change my commitment, man. All these coaches that came up here, seeing all these players, like, I ain't got no coach coming up here to see me." He said, no, Slay Dog, you can't do that. You can't do that, Slay Dog. You can't do it. I said, "Hey, Coach, man, open up my commitment, man. I ain't going to Tennessee." He said, "Man, give me a day. Like, go sleep on it. Let's see what it looks like moving forward." We came back the next day, man. Every coach on Tennessee staff was up there. I said, "All right, man," but I was this close. This close to switching to Kentucky, boy. Because I was already, Ron Mercer is a mentor of mine, and I loved watching him. I was always going to see him play when he was with the Bulls and the Celtics and things of that nature. So we had a close relationship. But I was that close, boy. Tennessee almost lost me. I was headed to Big Blue Nation, dude.
Was that Jerry Green? Was that the Jerry Green staff?
That was Jerry Green's that was his tenure, man. I mean, all of it. You got to imagine Knoxville was only like 4 hours away.
Yeah,
they coming from Maryland, Virginia, and everything. I'm like, these some big name coaches in here, man. And I'm sitting there like, no. Now we established the pecking order already. I ain't saying I'm the man on the team, but Man, like me and Travis Watson, we was the big dogs on the team. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody got to come see me, and if they don't want to come see me, I'm gonna make somebody else notice. So I'm glad it worked out the way it is, man. I love Tennessee through and through.
At the Ron Slay is where you follow him on Twitter. See him on the SEC Network tonight and 3HL if you're ever up in the Nashville area. They do a great job in the afternoons. Thank you.
Good old Ron Slay.
Oh wow! Thank you very much, Slay. And we always appreciate the time, buddy.
Hey, let me ask you this though.
Okay.
So this Mississippi State thing going in the hump. What we think this?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't have so we give out picks here. I don't have the balls to actually give it out. I thought about it, but I think Toulouse Smith coming back, his third game, I think he could be a difference maker. And this is a Mississippi State team. When you look at it, quality win over Rutgers. They're playing really good basketball, coming off a conference loss, but they're only a 2.5 point underdog.
Let me just jump in. I'm the old guy. I broker things on the show here. When Barkley's on with us, Barkley and LT make bets and things. I love the Slay hoodie you have on. We've got some great next round hoodies. Let's do this.
A hoodie bet?
A hoodie bet. If Mississippi State wins tonight, you send us a Ron Slay hoodie. If Tennessee wins, we will send you a next round hoodie.
Perfect.
Book it.
Yeah.
Book it.
Book it. All right. So
I am on. Send me this. Let me tell you one thing too, man. Moving forward, you got to understand this. If DJ Jeffries does not step up and be the same thing as a Josiah Jordan James, or when you look at Alabama, be or I'm gonna say South Carolina, be a Zach Davis, a Studi type, or somebody like Jalen Williams from Auburn, is gonna be capped. The ceiling will, the ceiling will be the cap for this team. If DJ Jeffries steps up and starts doing more things and starts scoring and be rebounds, assists, defending, all that's cool. He got to score some points, man. If he does that, sky's the limit. That's Elite 18.
I don't want to go barbershop scene from Coming to America, but I'm like, is he talking DJ Jeffries? Are you talking DJ Jeffries with me?
At some point, it got to happen. He got too much talent, man. Too much talent, dude. Too much talent. They have 0 in the box score. You got to show me something. I hope you mess up tonight, man, because I want to see you in a big Slay hoodie.
Okay, I do too. Let's do it.
All right, Ron, thank you very much for the time, man. We always appreciate it, buddy.
I no doubt. Appreciate you guys.
All right, man. Take care. The Ron Slay on Twitter is where you follow him. You'll see him on the SEC Network tonight. He was with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. I love that guy.
You guys are always talking Rocky Marciano. Gutter Cap brings you part of the show here. Tell us about Gutter Cap.
Yeah, cap it, don't snap it. Call our good friend Chris Stewart. He will come out, give you an absolutely free estimate. They'll clean the gutters one final time. You'll never have to do the dirty, dangerous job that is cleaning the gutters again. 823-2212. That's 205-823-2212. Don't get on the roof. You slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. You're no good to the wife or kids. Make the phone call that I made years ago, 205-823-2212 or guttercapbirmingham.com.
And listen, there's I love when we're able to recommend our clients to people. We've done it with Gutter Cap for years. And last night, a nice gentleman whose name I don't know, but I see him helping Auburn athletics all the time. And I've seen him for years. Anytime I go to Auburn football, or, he's doing something, whether it's guarding the press box or a locker room area, checking credentials, and he's got his arm in a sling. He's had shoulder surgery, and he fell, scooping up leaves and fell on some acorns, slipped and fell and tore his labrum. And he wasn't, really happy with his rehab. And I was like, man, I wish you lived up in the area. You need to go online and check out Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics right there online, precisionsportsortho.com/2024. But we were talking about the recovery and the whole rehab of it and how he's having to sleep in a recliner. And I said, the rehab is so important, and that's just part of the process you get with precisionsportsortho.com, whether it's a shoulder that you've tweaked or you hurt, or whether it's a back pain, a leg pain, or anything, they can take care of you. 2024, let it be the year Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics gets your life back on track. Orthopedic care, better together. Find your provider today. 205-512-3885. 512-3885 or precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Always good to talk with Slay there. Do you guys agree Tennessee's the best in the SEC
I don't
right
know.
now?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it.
I don't
like
think
if I had to bet my life on it, I probably would go with Tennessee just because of the experience. and because of that backcourt. Again, if Auburn can get more consistent play from their guards, I think they're the most balanced team.
Okay. We have a little developing news that I don't know if it impacts Jim Harbaugh or not, but Brownie, the Chicago Bears today, has decided to keep their head coach.
Yeah, Matt Eberflus, 3 wins last year, 7 wins this year. I mean, I think when you double your win total, there wasn't a lot of expectation for the Chicago Bears.
Did fire their offensive coordinator, but if I saw that right, but keeping Eberflus. That would tell me potentially they think Harbaugh is more interested in Tennessee or Atlanta
or the
Chargers or something like that.
Or staying at Michigan, which is
or
still
staying
an
at
option.
Michigan. Yeah. I mean, obviously I think they didn't have the option they wanted. I did think it was interesting that Rand Carthon, who is the Titans GM, said, hey, I was not in the room when the decision was made to fire Mike Vrabel. That was all on Amy Strunk.
How's that even possible?
I know.
I mean, what kind of legitimacy are you a general manager if you're not even involved in the decision?
Exactly.
To get rid of
that
coach?
was my point. I'm like, it felt like he kind of wanted to be like, hey, me and Mike are tight, man. I had no idea, Mike, but I had no idea this was coming. I'd have given you a heads up. But, boy, he undercut himself by saying that. Like, what kind of GM are you if the owner doesn't even talk to you about it?
She's the daughter of
Bud
Adams, who brought the team.
Not Bud Adams.
I thought it was.
Yeah, Bud Adams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was Bud Adams.
My apologies, Bud Adams.
Yeah, so it's not... it's not like she a longtime NFL person. I mean, she's been
in control of that team for a while, though.
Yeah. But somebody advised her.
Oh yeah,
not because she's a woman, but somebody advised her.
You don't have to back that up.
I'm just saying.
Walker over in the chat
I think what
room.
Rand said was, I thought she was at home cooking dinner. She was actually firing the head coach. I
knew
didn't see
she
it quoted.
could,
Yeah.
iron her shirt.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying that owners, except for a handful, usually don't make these decisions without some football minds chiming in on it. And to y'all's point, usually it's the general manager.
You would think if he's got any sort of power,
or something.
if he has any juice at all. Walker in our chat room over there made the point. Kevin Warren is the CEO and president of the Bears. Harbaugh was never going there. What is that relationship with the former Big Ten commissioner?
Well, I think it's worse with the current Big Ten commissioner.
Yeah, that's what I mean, if Kevin Warren, or if he knew he was getting a hell of a coach, I don't think that matters.
You could bury that hatchet in a hurry. Yeah.
Just thought that was interesting news. And again, the Harbaugh thing doesn't have to happen immediately, but this is the coaching cycle that is cranked up for some NFL teams that are happening currently. All right, when we come back, we will talk about those NFL games that we were going to do the last segment, but we had Ron Slay slide up a bit. That's coming up. Harbin's Outdoor can make everything come up green in your backyard.
Yeah, Scotty will show you the backyard, the transformation. I should have done the before pictures, but it was so embarrassing.
Yeah, just pull up something from, let's see.
Just do a junkyard.
Do somebody's backyard in Istanbul.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Just some trashy backyard.
That would be fair enough.
Yeah.
But Harbin's,
go back to Moody Landfill Fire. Same thing, LT's backyard.
Not only is Jeremy a great dude, but you can sit down and collaborate with him. Tell him what your vision is, and he can put a pin to it. He'll give you that absolutely free estimate, and then they can put something together for you. They are an award-winning landscape company specializing in installing custom fiberglass pools, landscaping, hardscaping. They do it all, from the install to the lighting, final hardscapes around the pool, everything in between. It's beautiful work. You can find them on Instagram. Go to @Harbins_outdoors. See it for yourself, or call or text Jeremy directly. Make sure you tell him the next round sent you. 205-300-0718. That's 205-300-0718.
Our Monday morning quarterback is Fox Sports' Joel Klatt. Every Monday at 10:25.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
When it comes to great clothing, I love comfortable clothing that I can also wear to the golf course or anywhere I go. I get that from Roback. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Whether it is the softest hoodies you'll ever find, they're great quarter zips, the polos, the pants, the crew necks, you can get them all at Roback.com, and we're helping you save. Your first order at Roback.com can get a 20% discount when you use code TNR20. That is Roback.com, code TNR20 for 20% off your initial order at Roback.com. This holiday season, give yourself the gift of peace of mind with a credit card from Legacy Credit Union. Why risk shopping with cash when you can enjoy the safety and convenience of shopping with their contactless credit card? With a Legacy credit card, you can enjoy incredible perks like rates as low as 8.9% APR, no annual fees, and no balance transfer fees. But that's not all. Earn fantastic rewards for travel and merchandise through Scoreboard Rewards. Apply online today at LegacyCreditUnion.com to make your holiday shopping not just safer, but smarter. APR annual percentage rate. Certain restrictions may apply. Subject to approval. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
It's time to start thinking about employee holiday gifts. Consider getting your hardworking guys a pair of Red Wing boots. Each day, your employees are on the job site helping your company succeed, so reward them with comfort at its best. The Red Wing mobile shoe truck can visit your shop and fit your employees with a great selection of boots. Or Red Wing gift cards can be purchased at your local Red Wing store, available in all amounts. Whichever program you choose, your employees will appreciate the quality, service, and selection from Red Wing shoes, and they'll also be thankful they have such a great boss. Reward your employees this holiday season with Red Wing shoes.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live Daily Show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
I don't know if, this is asking a lot from Forrester to pull up a picture, but while you guys were gone, it was the Little T and Dunaway show that Brett stopped by and delivered his Christmas gift to us, and it was some balls.
Bourbon balls from Woodford
Balls,
Reserve.
yes. Probably should put bourbon balls
Probably
in there.
so. Rockstar was
I got perked up a little bit.
Yeah,
But now it's
Woodford Reserve bourbon balls, and he's asking, did we try it? We have tried them. They are delicious. I'm not a huge bourbon ball guy. I like my bourbon and my balls separate.
Hey, right. What? I can make a meal out of it.
Who doesn't?
But it was good. It was good, but it's not my cup of tea. You?
Yeah, it's good. I'm not, Rockstar. I don't know if they're the best balls I've ever had, but I do like them. They were good.
No, I
appreciate Brett doing that.
You ate balls
big
last
fan.
summer, did you not?
Huh?
You ate a lot of balls
I
last
did.
summer.
I ate some wild, not wild animal, but farm animal testicles up at the Testicle Festival there.
Could have used some bourbon in them, right? I think anything bourbon infused is really good, or most things.
Yeah, those balls were better than I thought they would be.
But Woodford Reserve, one of the more solid, consistent brands in the bourbon game.
It's one of my favorite bourbons.
So big shout out to Brett. Really appreciate his support and giving us a nice.
Do you like a
there.
cheese ball? Like a big cheese ball that you slice and put on a cracker?
With covered nuts on top.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of that.
Balls with nuts.
Our girl Shelly Anthony, the elf, does a great cheese ball. I didn't even get mine this year.
Let me tell you what I am hooked on right now. My buddy Mike Kennedy makes his own. I don't even know what kind of pepper jelly it is. I think it's a mango infused pepper jelly. And I take either goat cheese or Philly cream cheese.
That's so good.
And then I put it in a bowl, and I have different types of crackers.
I like the wheat thin with that.
Yeah, I go wheat thin. Is that a Triscuit?
Triscuit's the one that will tear your mouth up.
Yeah,
Triscuits is super salty too.
Yeah,
and I think the Triscuit's the most probably polarizing cracker in the cracker family.
Wheat thin is much smaller and thinner, as the name would indicate.
I will tell you what I'm hooked on now is Nabisco has this little triangular pita chip like thing with a little sea salt on it.
Really thin, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Those are good.
So that's what I ate it with during the national championship. My point being, I don't know how many calories is in that one jar, and then you factor in the cheese.
Yeah, that's a lot of calories.
But Mike gave me one for my birthday. It is now officially gone as of the national championship, and I ate every.
I watched.
Like you scraped the jar.
The other night I was trying to get enough in there.
I watched the national championship Monday with our buddy C. Stu, and he was telling me that his friend in high school, his dad worked for Nabisco, and so they would have like just an excess amount of Nabisco crackers, and the number one cracker back then was the chicken and
chicken and biscuit. I love those.
I loved them so much. I ate too many of them and threw them up.
I haven't had those in forever.
Well, he said they're not the same. He's like the chicken and maybe again our palates are so different as teenagers to where they are now. But he's like, they don't make the chicken and biscuit the same way they used to.
It was like a little chicken leg like cracker, was it?
No,
like,
they're normal looking cracker. It's just it's got the flavor, I guess, of chicken and biscuits. I don't know
where
how
does
to
the chicken come from?
Well, I'll go ahead and tell you, there was a kind in the trailer park that they tried to make shaped like a little drumstick.
Yeah, you got the knockoff kind. Yeah.
What kind of treats did your dogs get in them? Just anything that fell out of the garbage can?
Dead squirrels. Dead squirrels.
Trash day was like my God, boys, I got a can at the street. Let's go.
Well, they drew the short straw going to the mud puddle.
Yeah. They'd run away.
I'll stay at the pound. Leave me alone.
They'd run a pound. They didn't have leashes or chains.
Did y'all steal dogs?
No,
y'all drove into Pelham, take a dog out of somebody's yard?
They just run through the neighborhood. There was no leash laws back then. They'd run through neighborhoods and wish they were being kept captive in a backyard.
You had a bunch of Browns in the trailer. Hey, he ain't gonna come back. You know what? Extra food for you and your sister.
What would happen? It'd be like, in some movies, you're like, man, I'm gonna go commit a crime just so I can get 3 meals and a cot and go to jail.
Yeah.
They'd go around and look at those dogs on leashes in backyards and fenced-in yards and going, there's freedom in there, everything. That dog gets 3 solids every day.
You boys, you think you got it bad stuck in that
And
backyard.
I'm telling you, man, dogs, they know this stuff. You guys might not believe me, but one of my algorithms outside of disasters and people having bad crashes and dying and stuff like that is dogs getting rescued and how they act to that owner.
Oh.
I mean, the allegiance, like Bullet follows me everywhere. I mean, he is a stage 5 clinger.
We'll 100% protect you till the end, probably.
I don't know about that. We went to the dog park last night, and he was running from some kind of mutt that was chasing him around. So he's kind of a little scared. So if it was protection, probably not good. But he wouldn't leave my side.
NFL talk after I tell you about Storm Restoration Roofing. You want a guy that will get his roofing game on. It's Greg Nelson, Greg from Pell City. He'll jump up there and give you a free, no-cost roof inspection. That's where I always like to start with Storm Restoration Roofing, the free, no-cost roof inspection. But when we've had wind like we've had the last couple of nights, you don't have to have, storm damage you can see. I could go out and assess the fact that, you got a tree through your roof, I need to replace your roof. Greg does that kind of stuff. He replaces old roofs. But when you really need Greg Nelson is right now. These 2 last nights of the strong wind, all it takes is a few shingles to get loose, and then you've got a place where water can leak in. And then when water, all I have to say is look at the Grand Canyon. A little water will go a long way to causing a lot of damage. Greg Nelson can get on top. Anytime I get no sleep, these reads are the best.
I agree.
You get on top of that roof. That's what Greg will do to make sure all your shingles are in place. A lot more. Free, no cost, no obligation. 205-542-3531. 542-3531. It's Greg from Pell City on Facebook, Storm Restoration Roofing.
Honey, I heard Jim Dunaway say water made the Grand Canyon. Baby, we're not going to own this house for 30,000 years, don't you?
But I'm telling you, imagine the damage it's doing in our attic right now.
I purchased a home from the original owner and builder back in 2012, and I'm still in it, but it had the 50-year shingle. But I'm going to get Greg out after these storms. I have been talked into this. I'm going to get him to check it out because just because it's a 50-year shingle doesn't mean it's going to last for 50 years.
Yep. It's 50 years in its secure place. Those little things can loosen.
That's
and
right.
You've got all kinds of problems. Get Greg on your roof right there. I'm glad advertising works, Lance, and you're finally going to get that roof inspected.
I've heard you talking about it a little bit.
Thank you. All right, so if I asked you this, let's go NFC first and then AFC.
Okay.
Rank for me the confidence you have in NFC quarterbacks here in the playoffs. Give me who's 1, who's 2, all the way down to, I assume, Baker Mayfield.
Wow, you're going to put Baker dead last.
I'm just assuming you guys will. He's
Okay,
my quarterback.
I make assumptions.
Yeah, I would start right now. I mean, the thing is, Jalen Hurts is not playing good football right now. The Eagles, back into the defense, a lot of things going on right now. Reason they've lost 5 of their last 6 games. But Jalen Hurts, the experience in going to a Super Bowl has got to mean something. So I think you've got to start with Jordan Love. He has got to be the back end of this. I would say Jordan Love at number 7.
Okay, you're going dead last first. Okay,
Yeah.
Jordan Love, really.
Yeah, no, I would agree with Lance on this. I think I put Jordan Love last.
Hey, look, he's played better than expected.
I would just tell you, and it means nothing because it's fantasy football, but both of my quarterbacks that I had, Aaron Rodgers was my first round pick, but both of my quarterbacks are in the NFC and they're in the playoffs. And Jared Goff and Jordan Love. And Jordan Love started most of the year for me down the stretch because he got hot at the end. I'm going to tell you, I've got more respect for Jordan Love than him being dead last.
Well, who would you put dead last?
I think I would put Baker. Baker has had some really high moments and some low moments.
I've got Baker next, so those are transfer spots for you.
I've got Baker next. And then this,
I've got Jalen. I've got Jalen at 6.
That's way too low.
Yeah, way too
low.
low.
The way he's playing right now, this is not a lifetime achievement award or even a season long.
You know how things reset in the playoffs, though. I've got more confidence. This is a confidence question. In the playoffs, I got more confidence in Jalen Hurts. If you ask 32 NFL teams, you're in the playoffs, you want Jalen Hurts right now, Jalen Hurts or Baker Mayfield, who are they going to take?
Well, I mean, I would tell you this. Philly's going to beat Tampa Bay. The matchups here make a little bit of a difference because on this weekend, Jalen's going to look better than Baker, and Jalen may look better than Jordan Love because they've got the tough game with Dallas. But I just am telling you, the last 4 weeks, Jordan Love is playing better football than Jalen Hurts.
But Jordan Love, now he's got to go on the road to Dallas. Dallas is a different animal in Dallas. Jordan Love's got to be 7. Baker's got to be 6.
I was taking out the opponent, and I was just saying who's playing really confident, good quarterback right now.
I still would have Jordan Love at 7.
Okay.
I would go Baker at 6. So I think we at least agree 6, 7.
The last 2.
Okay. Is this building up to Matthew Stafford at number 1?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't know where you guys have got this.
Got a good argument there.
Number 5, Jalen Hurts, because of the way he's playing right now. It has not been a good second half of the season.
Well, you guys were killing me on having him at 6, but y'all just have him one spot.
Well, I mean, top 5,
Jim. Where did you have him? Jalen.
I mean, if I know Goff is playing well. Goff's been in a Super Bowl. Yeah, I'd probably go Jalen here.
Yeah, and I would have Goff at 4. I mean, Goff's been really consistent the last 2 years. And he did take a team to a Super Bowl in 2018.
So wait, right now Brock Purdy is still on the table with Dak and Matthew Stafford.
I would go Brock number 3, and I just can't get the 4-interception game out of Baltimore out of my head. Outside of that, he's played really clean football. He's in the best system. He's got the best talent around him. But still, Brock Purdy has not – I mean, you know, what would have happened in the NFC Championship game last year? I think San Francisco would have won, but we don't know that. But I would go Brock 3. And then it really comes down to those other 2.
Yeah.
And I would go Dak number 2 because Dak has never won one of these massive games. And although Matt Stafford never had a playoff win until 2021, he won 4 consecutive games en route to winning a Super Bowl. And I think the way he's playing right now, that's the guy I would trust the most. And I'm not being a homer here. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that?
I would go Dak then Stafford. No. I think Stafford, I mean, that team has exceeded above their expectations. A lot of the reason is they've got the Puka Nacua broke the rookie receiving record of Jalen Waddle. That is directly related to Matthew Stafford. Against all odds, Cooper Kupp's become one of the best receivers in the NFL, directly related to Matthew Stafford. Those 3 guys are the reason you got a shot in Detroit. So I would go
think
Stafford.
I really, the biggest key has been Kyron Williams running the football because that – Sean McVay's offense with all the motion and everything really predicates off being able to successfully run the football, and Kyron Williams has been fantastic. That opens things up, but Stafford's playing with a ton of confidence, and just because he's won a Super Bowl. I mean, how many of these other guys on the list have won a Super Bowl?
No, I'm fine with Stafford at number 1.
I would tell you that 1 to 7, though, there have been moments on a couple of Sundays back-to-back that all 7 of those have played really well, and then there's been 1 or 2 weeks back-to-back that all 7 of those have been very inconsistent.
Yep.
And I don't know if you get that in the AFC. The show being brought to you in part by our friends at Johnson RV as we hit the road to the AFC.
I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur is where you find Johnston RV Center. You're about to hear a lot about RV shows. People are going to say, hey, RV show coming up May, RV show coming up April, whatever. RV show right now. Right now, both locations. Why wait? Go to Johnston RV Center and see their RV show. Forest River, that stuff is arriving daily. The Forest River RVs they've got there, you can see them. You can get them as low as $179 a month. They still got a great inventory of previously owned. And like us on this show, they appreciate the United States military. The U.S. veteran and United States soldier is what makes us the greatest country in the universe. There is no question about that one. And they appreciate them the way we do here on this show. They give you a great discount there at Johnston RV Center. See more online, JohnstonRVCenter.com or I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur.
Landmine believer, I don't think you like this, LT, but Rams are the biggest threat to the 49ers. His Super Bowl prediction, Rams and Bills. Usually you like the public not to be on you. Some love starting for the Rams. Seems like you sort of believe your team can win the Super Bowl.
Well, here's the problem. I don't think they can. I think they're talented enough on any of these teams in the postseason they could beat. But the problem is they're going to have to go to Detroit. If they win that game, more than likely, they've got to go to San Francisco. And then if the chalk holds out, they would have to go to Dallas. So can you imagine winning in Detroit, San Francisco, and Dallas before you get to a Super Bowl?
No, I don't think you can.
I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
I do think in the AFC, if we're ranking the quarterbacks, the easy number 7 is obviously Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, I think 6 and 7 are both easy.
Mason Rudolph will get the start for Pittsburgh, who also doesn't have T.J. Watt this weekend as they play at Buffalo.
Yeah, and then number 6, you would say C.J. Stroud?
Ooh, I don't think I'd go as low as 6 with C.J. Stroud. I'm surprised you went there.
I think Joe Flacco's got a ton of experience.
He's got a ton of experience, but Joe Flacco
I trust Joe Flacco on this stage much more than I do C.J. Stroud.
Again, if you went 32 NFL teams, you can have Joe Flacco or C.J. Stroud. Do you think they're going to take C.J. Stroud?
I mean, if you're building for the future, but in a one-game postseason, I would rather have Flacco right now. C.J. Stroud's never been on this stage. Flacco's won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know. I would still take C.J. Stroud over Flacco. I'd have Flacco next.
Yeah, I think more interesting is who you have at the top, because you can make the argument that Josh Allen's the most talented, but he is a disaster turning the football over.
But what has Lamar Jackson done in the postseason?
Lamar Jackson, he shits the bed in big games, and
Patrick
Pat Mahomes
is broke.
Yeah, he's broke, but I would go Pat Mahomes just because this guy's won multiple Super Bowls.
Yeah, I think I would probably go Mahomes. I'm going to take a flyer on Lamar being better in this playoffs. Josh Allen, and then I'd go Tua, and then I would go C.J. Stroud.
Would you go Stroud or would you go Joe Flacco? If you could have one for this game.
Because of personnel around him and the experience on that team, they've sort of been built for this moment. I will go Flacco ahead of Stroud. There's no way I've got Mahomes number 1, though. His receivers aren't good enough. The line's not good enough. He's pressing.
Okay, but all rosters the same. You know you would go Mahomes.
Maybe.
And by the way, I don't really like the guy, but I trust once it gets to, I don't know how deep they're going to go, because you're right, the offense seems broken.
If I had Miami's roster, sure, I would take Patrick Mahomes. I would take Tua Tagovailoa. I would take Lamar Jackson. I would take Brock Purdy. I would take them all if I had Miami's roster. So I not that it's easy for Tua to do what he's doing, but
yeah, I don't want to discount anything.
I love San Francisco's roster and I love Miami's roster, and that's my Super Bowl pick. I said that on the Zone
and
on
you're
3340.
You're standing by Miami in the Super Bowl?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Miami versus San Francisco.
Oof, God, I hope you're right. But
Boy, Justin Houston and Bruce Irvin better play well.
I mean, they have got no pass rushers.
Yeah,
everybody's hurt.
How important is that?
Yeah, really.
The show being brought to you by our friends right there at Michelson Laser Vision. LT will tell you about that. Coming up in the next segment, we'll get to a little 4 downs, then talk to Andy Kennedy. And right before trash today, we're going to let Little T come in. And she was at the game last night at Neville Arena, and she had some stories to tell and had some fun. And the pregame dinner that we had that we bumped into turned into a funny conversation where you think I stress out about stuff when it comes to Auburn athletics?
Little T lives and dies with it.
And she worries about everything.
Yeah.
That story right before trash. All that still to come. Tell us a little bit about Michelson.
205-969-8100. That is the number that I called more than 2 decades ago. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts or glasses. I didn't even realize that. Went in, had the consult. I was a candidate. Got the procedure done. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. 2015 vision. Better than 2020. Make the phone call that I made. 205-969-8100. Tell Amy the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Are you ready for a winning season in your finances? Legacy Credit Union is bringing you a slam dunk deal on their credit cards. Apply for their balance transfer and pay 0 balance transfer fees. That's right. There is no balance transfer fees, and they're offering a jaw-dropping 2.99% APR for the first 6 months. Whether you're looking to clear the cord of those holiday expenses or just wanting to streamline your finances, apply online today, LegacyCreditUnion.com. Annual percentage rate, terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA. Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com. Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice.
Make sure to start your day at nextroundlive.com. Get caught up on the latest podcasts and videos from the Live Daily Show, plus specialty shows such as the Mystery Fifth Hour. You can also learn more about the whole staff at Double Down Media, find all of our social media feeds, see the latest videos from our YouTube channel and gaming channel, plus find other ways to consume the show like the Next Round mobile app, which you can download direct from the site via your iOS and Android device. Make nextroundlive.com your homepage and stay up to date with everything from us here at the Next Round.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast. The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast like Bama and Bourbon, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Appreciate our friends at Coca-Cola all the time. Kept me awake last night on the drive back from Neville Arena. Late night last night, enjoying a little weekday basketball. I don't know what the perfect start times are. 6 seems too early for a home game, and 8 seems too late. But you got to have 2 TV windows.
Yep.
So I don't know. 7's the ideal start time.
Yeah, 10 is or 8's too late.
Yeah,
if you got to travel.
And the 6 o'clock start time is 7 o'clock East Coast time. So you pretty much have to, Eastern time zone teams, Kentucky, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, they're going to have to eat up those early times. Yeah. Tennessee.
Like Alabama's crowd built as the game went on. Nothing to write home to mom about, but Nate Oates complimented the energy having the students back. But during the pregame starting lineup announcements, a lot of people not in their seats yet. And that 6 o'clock is such a hard start time as far as getting from work and grabbing the family and getting a little food in you, whether it's in the concourse or somewhere else, and getting in. And then 8 o'clock last night, I felt to me like we didn't end at Neville Arena till felt like it was about 10:15, 10:20. Is that about right when that game ended?
Yeah, that's about right.
That's right.
Yeah. By the way, the national championship game the other night, 3 hours and 33 minutes from kick to the end of the game. So no matter how we're trying to speed up the game, the big games still take about 3.5 hours.
My wife even commented, she was like, this first half seems like it's lasted forever.
Yep. And meanwhile, I don't know about you, but the Rose Bowl seemed like it flew by.
Yeah, but I had people tell me it seemed like it lasted long, and I'm like, not at the game. The third quarter at the game was over in an instant. Like that quarter flew by.
Yeah. Daniel says 10,000 plus last night in Coleman.
Okay. Yeah. I did not count.
I was not there. I just saw that the picture that floated around the internet during introductions. That seems to happen at every Alabama game right now, and I always say, show me what it's like during the game, because that introduction is happening a couple minutes for tip, and not everybody's in the seats yet.
Well,
So
people know it's a storyline, so sending the photo out is going to get attention because everybody is kind of attuned to what the crowd is like in Coleman Coliseum on a weeknight.
But, I even told Little T, we were sitting on the court last night, and, I never realized how small Auburn Arena is until I was sitting in those seats last night. And when you can see the faces of the people in the standing room only up top and make out what their faces are, like I could give them a pretty good ID if they committed a crime. It's a great venue, and it is very, very intense, as you will hear Buzz Williams talk about a little bit later on. But it is teeny tiny. Everything's on top of you.
I can't wait for the Auburn Message Board to say, Dunaway was at the game last night and said nothing but criminals were up in the standing room only.
That's not what I said. Somebody sent out a picture last night, and they said, oh, man, great seats. And I was like, it was a plea bargain deal that there was our seats last night. Plea bargain deal to the fact that we would never broadcast an Auburn game on the SEC network in triple box again.
So I am told.
Those were great seats.
So I am told that the nice lady sitting to your immediate left, or maybe it's the one next to her, I'm not sure which. And I don't know if Scott, who's a big Auburn guy, or Little T, who's a huge Auburn fan, know this.
It looks like Granny Tiger to me.
It is. Oh, Dunaway, why don't you play this game? Granny Tiger. I think it's not to your immediate left. I think it's the next one. The lady with the whiter hair is known as Granny Tiger. Janie Little, I believe, is her name. And she goes by the nickname Granny Tiger. And those are her normal seats there. So Dunaway was sitting next to Granny Tiger. Like, you got good seats if you're next to Granny Tiger.
Yeah, right in front of that student section. And appreciate Jim and his guys with the tickets there. Just a good time for Little T and I last night. She'll join us right before trash. Show being brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop.
Yeah, New York Butcher Shop, one-stop shop for all of the finest meats out there. They've also got a great selection of fine wines and desserts, great sides, just a fantastic place to go. Rare quality, well-done service. 2 locations, the original in Cava Heights, one right there, Highway 119 in Greystone. Go see Jim and all the fine folks at the New York Butcher Shop.
Hey, and we're going to start something tomorrow, by the way, where Brownie each week does what he does every basketball season, where he updates us on the Ken Pom and the teams that are going the way of possibly winning the national championship. We're going to start doing that tomorrow. Look forward to that. Bobby says, I've heard about the Jumbotron boobs from multiple sources.
This has been all over the chat room today. Apparently, someone flashed the camera on the Jumbotron.
They did. It was
so you saw it?
Oh, yeah. The whole arena did. It was about Little T will tell us later on. But
did they get run out?
No, it was the Eagle program they have down there for special needs students. It was one of those students.
Oh, well, God, I wish I'd known that.
Yeah.
So it was a special needs student.
Yeah, that's what I'm told.
Oh, I thought you said you saw it.
So what I did, but I don't know who the person is. So, but what was happening was it was one of those dance segments, right, to where I try to be as still as possible and not make eye contact because I don't want the camera on me because I can't dance. But when I looked up, there is one.
But were you dancing?
No. There was one little overweight adult or college-age guy who has pulled his shirt all the way up, and he's dancing. And then it cuts to a little kid who's probably about 11, and he pulls his shirt up, and he's a little chunky too. So he's dancing. And they go back and forth on the dance screen, and then they go to the student section, and it's like a couple of college kids who are pulling up their shirts showing the abs. And then all of a sudden, in the shot jumps this young lady. She wasn't even being shot at. It was some other guy. And she jumps in and quickly flashes like the guys were doing.
Was she wearing a bra?
Oh, no.
Okay, so this was all natural.
Yeah. And Little T will tell you, the whole arena reacted to it.
Like ooh. Groan, cheer.
It was groan, laughter, murmuring, and it was
uncomfortable.
It was uncomfortable. Yeah, it was uncomfortable.
You didn't show yours.
Nope. I didn't want to show anybody up. Mine's a little bigger.
That guy in the chat room says boobs are special needs to me.
Yeah. Andy Kennedy in the next segment. Let's do our 4 downs here, brought to you by our friends at
Ooh, this is going to be tight. There's no way we could do this.
He loves to squeeze 4 downs.
We cannot do 4 downs here.
Okay, we have no time for 4 downs.
Not here.
We'll do it after Andy Kennedy, apparently.
You got to look at the clock right there, Joe. That's poor clock management.
Okay, you're telling me Andy Kennedy's going to be on time. Okay, we'll go with that.
Well, if he is, you ain't going to like it.
No, he's working hard, man.
No,
He's
I know,
working
but if
hard.
he's on time and we're right in the middle of celebrity birthdays, you're going to be tapping that wrist.
Andy knows the show.
Yep.
Andy knows the
Well,
show.
we can ask him celebrity birthdays.
Apparently, I love to squeeze 4 downs.
You do squeeze
you
4
did right
downs.
there.
I did it yesterday, and I was going to do it right here, but it was going to be a perfectly length 4 downs.
Don't think so.
You don't need 5 minutes for 4 answers.
We need 15 seconds an answer?
Yeah.
We could be finished by now. The show being brought to you in part then by our friends right at Way to Wellness. One day maybe I will dance off at Neville Arena with my shirt off, but it wasn't going to be last night. And Way to Wellness is working on me, though. But in 2 days, I'm down 4 pounds coming off our trip to Pasadena, squeezing in at just over 191. You can start your weight loss journey with Way to Wellness, your board-certified team over there waiting to squeeze you in and let you find out what they're all about at Way to Wellness. Here's how you get the initial details. You go to aplanforme.com, and they will set up a consultation, which is free to the Next Round customer. You'll find out there's no contract, and it's just a great plan. I've used it for years. I love it. It helps me get back on track anytime that I get off track. Helps me with my blood pressure and cholesterol as well. It's Way to Wellness. The website, again, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. It works. It's fantastic. A lot of you have tried it. It is awesome. Go there, aplanforme.com. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Take the Next Round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
When it comes to great clothing, I love comfortable clothing that I can also wear to the golf course or anywhere I go. I get that from Roback. Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Whether it is the softest hoodies you'll ever find, they're great quarter zips, the polos, the pants, the crew necks, you can get them all at Roback.com, and we're helping you save. Your first order at Roback.com can get a 20% discount when you use code TNR20. That is Roback.com, code TNR20 for 20% off your initial order at Roback.com.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone, the New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. 3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
I said yesterday, this is what Andy Kennedy does. Got a big new roster. He's worked with them, and now they're starting to play good basketball. And Brown, they have found themselves a flat-out superstar who's been showing off the last couple of games.
AK is with us, the UAB head basketball coach, Andy Kennedy, on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. He joins us courtesy of Legacy Community Federal Credit Union. What is up, AK? How are you?
What's up, guys? How are y'all?
Doing great. I mean, I'm just assuming this is the way college basketball and football to a certain extent, but primarily basketball is going to work for a while. This transfer portal where you change a roster maybe almost completely, it's going to take a month to figure this whole thing out for a lot of teams, isn't it?
Yeah, I just think this is the new normal.
Yeah.
And if you're watching closely, a few weeks back, the NCAA said they put a hard and fast rule down. Hey, we're going to let you transfer once. We're not going to mess with post grad. So if you get your degree, you can do what you want. But we're not going to, we're going to put our foot down and not let you transfer twice. Well, that foot only stayed down a few weeks, and now they're letting them transfer a couple of times. So I am of the belief that it's going to just be Katie bar the door, and here we go. So I think we'll be flipping our roster every year.
Coach, after 3 straight losses, you win 6 straight. You're sitting at 10-5 after 15 games. Do you know this team yet?
Yeah, I've got a good idea. We've kind of settled into a rotation. That obviously is fluid day to day based on performance, but I think guys are starting to settle into roles. You guys talked about in the open Yaks, man. We brought Yaxel Lindenborg in, one of the top junior college players in the country, and in fairness to him, he had never really experienced anything like what he was going through. And as a result, we were dependent upon him being productive from day one. And that's shame on us, really. He wasn't ready to take that step. But I think in the last 3 games, he's averaging around 23 points, 15 rebounds. He's doing it in closely contested games and producing at a high level. So I can see a real transformation occurring in him, which will help our team continue to get better.
When I watched him in the South Florida game, he's 6'9", right? That's what you tell me he is, but he plays bigger, like especially getting after rebounds. How do guys 6'9" play bigger? What does he do so well to get these rebounds?
Well, he's legit 6'9". Like if you walked in the room, you'd say, "Whoa, that's a big guy." I mean, he's 6'9". He's about 238 pounds. He's got a 7'3" wingspan. That's his gift, and he's got great timing. He was the junior college leading rebounder in the nation for 2 straight years. He had multiple 20-plus rebound games in junior college. He actually had a 32-rebound game in junior college. Now, again, I don't care who you're playing. If you get 32 rebounds, that's an impressive night. And so he's got a gift to get the ball. What we've really asked him to do is continue to evolve offensively. We need him to score. We need him to play through contact and play to his abilities. And he's gotten more comfortable in that role. And as a result, we've gotten better offensively.
Okay, so this question might not be warranted if he continues to play like he played over the last 3 games. And you've coached basketball for a long time, so this might be a difficult question to answer. But is this the most balanced team you've ever had?
I don't know. I don't know if it's ever is a long term. At UAB, obviously, Buddy Johnson, two games ago, we win our conference opener on the road at UTSA. We ran action for him. I think the last 4 or 5 trips down the floor, he scored our last 10 points, including the game winner. Well, I say all that to say prior to this year, the last 2 years, everybody in the state of Texas knew where that ball was going to go, and that was going to be Jelly Walker. Now, even if I didn't design it for him, he was going to find a way to get it and shoot it. and more times than not, it worked out for us, so it was a happy marriage. But we had to we're finding someone game in and game out to be that guy. Who are we going to run the action for at the end of clock to try to win close games? And we have been in nothing but close games. Through 15 games, we lead the nation in playing in 2-possession or less basketball games. 11 of our 15 games have come down to 6 points or less. Fortunately for us, we've won 8 of those 11, including 8 of the last 9. So to answer your question, LT, we go really with who is playing well that night, whether it be Javion Davis in the paint, whether it be Eric Gaines off a ball screen, whether it be Butta Johnson or Alejandro Vasquez in some sort of action. Daniel Ortiz hit a big 3 for us in a huge win against Drake earlier in the season. And then, again, Yaxel was really emerged as a leader for us on the offensive end as of late.
Andy Kennedy with us, the UAB head coach on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. He joins us each week courtesy of Legacy Community Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of the UAB Blazers. When you've got Florida Atlantic next, you've got an off week. They've got a game between now and then. I believe they play Tulane, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
That is a team that is 24th in the country. Andy would tell you that's not just window dressing, because I know from talking to you, you trust almost implicitly the KenPom ratings where they're 21st. So the trusted source by almost every coach, KenPom, says this is basically a top 20 team in the country. I'm assuming that shows up on all the film you were watching this week.
Yeah, I think they're tremendous. You know, people want to ding them because they didn't really get to see them last year, like obviously we did being in their league. And then they make that run in the NCAA tournament to go to the Final Four. What a magical run. Really captured the attention of college basketball through March Madness. And people wanted to say, that was a one-hit wonder. And then they came out with a lot of hype, top 10 in the preseason. They played an incredibly difficult schedule. They've already beaten Arizona on a neutral site. They've beaten Texas A&M. They've beaten Butler. They've beaten Virginia Tech. They've had some really outstanding wins. But they've had a couple of head-scratching losses. You know, they go on the road and lost a couple of games, including in their last game at Charlotte in game 2 of their conference season. They have a bullseye on them, obviously. You know, it's not just all little FAU, who I think has been to 2 NCAA tournaments in the last 30 years. No, it's the FAU that is coming off a Final Four run and was one shot away from playing on Monday night for the national championship. So with that comes, you know, a lot of people are excited to play them. I know our guys are excited to play them. You know, we went down there last year. I believe it was the 3rd game in conference again. We lost a 1-possession game. We lost by 2 points after having been up by 6 with about 3 to play. They go on an incredible run, win 20 straight to lead the nation. They come to Bartow and we tap them pretty good, and then they get us pretty good in the conference tournament championship game. But a lot of our guys weren't a part of that, so I know our team is excited about the opportunity that FAU presents. And despite them, you know, having lost already 4 games, they only lost 4 all of last year. I actually think they're better this year.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, a lot of that roster is back. I was going to ask you because
all of it.
Yeah, all of it's back. I was going to ask you just because of you guys were the alphas of the league last year, and those 3 games you just explained them. Is there a little rivalry here? I know both of you are new to this conference, but is there a little FAU with that roster and UAB rivalry that you sort of have to tell your guys about that, hey, these guys are going to be up for us because of what has happened in the past?
Well, I know we'll be up for them. You know, for a while, I think we've dominated the series, meaning UAB over FAU long term, but that really doesn't matter as it relates to Saturday. They've beaten us 2 of the last 3, including beat us soundly in the conference tournament championship, which kept our team from having the opportunity to participate in back-to-back NCAA tournaments. They're a really good team. Again, I've got only 4 guys that were part of last year's team on this year's roster, and I think only 2 of those guys actually got in those games last year. So it'll be a different void, but I do think this. I do think based on what FAU did last year, our guys will really be excited about the opportunity.
You know, it wasn't long ago you were in a 1-bid league, and now sitting in the American, you know, we talk about FAU, we talk about you guys. Memphis is, you know, almost a top 10 team right now. Do you feel like this is like a 3 or 4 bid league?
I think it's definitely a 2-bid league as we sit here today. Obviously, we've got a lot of work to do to put ourselves back in that conversation. But I'll tell you this: if we were sitting here last year at 10-5 with some of the head-scratching losses that we had early in play, we would know what our destiny is. Our destiny would be, hey man, we got to work to get as good as we can do, and then we've got to go to Frisco, Texas. Draw back that curtain and try to win 3 games in 3 days, or maybe have to win 4 games in 4 days, depending on how this thing plays out. But that's not necessarily the case now. We've still got a lot of work to do but we've got a number of quad one opportunities starting Saturday that this league provides. I think FAU and Memphis are both Final Four quality teams. I really mean that. Last year FAU and Memphis played in the first round. Could have gone either way. FAU hits a shot for them to advance, or they're one and done. They're out. But they advance all the way to the Final Four. I think them and Memphis are both, if they were playing this year in Phoenix in the Final Four, I would not be surprised by either. And I think the league also, SMU has made a huge step forward. I think North Texas, despite their coach going to Texas Tech, and they've got a first-year head coach, have really, really been impressive to this point in the season. Tulane, who we have at home next week, is a good basketball team, and I think we're certainly making strides. So I think the league is good. I think it's definitely 2 bids. The rest of us are trying to work to find a way to get it to 3 or 4.
Dickey's Arena in Fort Worth, the site of the American Conference tournament. Only curtains on the windows.
Got a
there.
Sponsorship, man.
That's right, Dickey's Arena. That's a big deal.
That's a step in the right direction.
Ain't no doubt. All right, AK, good luck down in Boca. We always appreciate the time. Good to see you again.
Hey, great seeing you guys. I appreciate you. Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too.
Love the hat, by the way. Don't you get to see AK in a hat very often?
Well, I mean, every once in a while we got to keep the focus on the face.
See you next week, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, buddy. Take care. Andy Kennedy, the UAB basketball coach, with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, always presented by Legacy Credit Union.
And I'll tell you, Yaks, man, turning out the 2010 rebounds a game, 23-15 the last one. Woo! That's play.
But
basketball.
I mean, he is a legit, and I understood your question because I think he is so. I mean, he looks like a massive defensive end.
That's right. He looks like a football player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a Julius Peppers out there.
Yeah. But he's 6'9". He's not a 7-footer. He's 6'9", but that wingspan makes up a lot. And he's
6'9" is pretty big, though.
Yeah, it is. It is. But to me, and I've never played one game of Division I basketball, but rebounding is as much attitude when I talk to coaches as it is athletic ability.
Well, that's one of the reasons it's included on the hustle board.
Yeah, effort and want to.
That's right. Yep. And I was going to joke with AK last time he had double-digit rebounds because he was a scorer, a shooter from the perimeter. But I'm sure he got after it a little bit. But it's a little want to. It's a put on the, not to borrow a phrase from Nate Oates, but it's put on the hard hat and go to work to get those kind of numbers.
Most of the time you're going to have to put a body on somebody, or somebody's going to put a body on you, and you got to resist it.
I will ask the guys if we can we got enough time to do 4 downs in this segment right here?
I think we do.
That was covered. Yes!
4 downs coming up after I tell you that Andy is brought to you by our friends at Legacy. LegacyCreditUnion.com, the home of the Legacy credit card. Well, I want to talk to you about transferring a balance from a high-interest credit card to Legacy's credit card. Could I interest you from going to whatever you're paying on that massive amount of credit card debt? What is it, 20, 23%, 25%, 28%? And that is going to pile up. Minimum fees are into the hundreds now. Stop the craziness and come to Legacy, where right now they've got 2.99% annual percentage rate for balance transfer fees for up to 6 months. It's going to save you, buy you a little time, save you a little money to where you can get everything going right in 2024 with the Legacy credit card. Credit card rates as low as 8.90% on new charges there. APR is the annual percentage rate. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. LegacyCreditUnion.com, federally insured by the NCUA. Tell us about Slice as well, LT.
4 locations, the original in Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, coming soon to Homewood this spring. Local pizza, local ingredients. Get in, see the Bajaya Brothers. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, SliceBirmingham.com.
First down.
Okay, if I asked you guys who had the better professional coaching career, Jimmy Johnson or Eric Spoelstra?
Eric Spoelstra just gets a new contract. He's 53 years old. He was the film coordinator in 1995 for Miami, and now he's making how much money?
$15 million a year.
$15 million a year. I love that success story.
Oh, that's a great story.
It's incredible, man. And
I'm going to go Spoelstra.
So Spoelstra, the second highest paid by year. This is the biggest deal in North American sports history, but second highest paid behind the very unlikable Greg Popovich, who makes $19 million a year.
Crazy.
But I agree. I mean, 6 finals, 2 championships. You can say what you want about the summit meeting and Bosh, LeBron, and D-Wade coming together, but when you look at the 2 championships for Jimmy Johnson, I mean, that was packaged up well with the Cowboys as well. And I know he developed a lot of those guys and helped draft those guys.
They did it through draft, not through free agency primarily.
But he's only been to 2 Super Bowls, 6 NBA Finals.
But also won a conference, a college national championship, too.
Yeah, but I just went professional.
Oh, you only went professional? Okay.
But I would tell you, Brown, you guys, give whoever's coaching Mississippi State football a lot of credit because it's coaching Mississippi State football on the big pecking order, other than when they had the 3 guys who came down there in free agency. This guy gets what seems to be less than talent compared to others to championship games. I think he outcoaches the talent sometimes.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson's so good. I think I might go Spoelstra on this one, though.
Yeah,
Jimmy Johnson's really good.
I would go Spoelstra.
One thing that hurts Jimmy Johnson's his last 2 years with the Dolphins. Those were not great years. I mean, they went to the playoffs, but that was kind of a bad way to go out for Jimmy Johnson.
You know what that was? That was new yacht money for him.
He just needed the yacht money?
He needed new yacht money.
No, I bet 25 years ago he's having a good time in Miami, living on that boat.
Absolutely.
Or having that boat is maybe a second home.
Second down.
You got more sports, and I'll end with a celebrity birthday?
Sure. Which happens first? Aubrey misses another kick or Tua throws an interception? Now, if you missed it, the former Stallions kicker finally missed a kick. He missed 2 of them in the Cowboys' final game. So maybe you got the yips out here before you start the playoffs. I didn't want his first miss to be a meaningful playoff kick.
Well, against the Packers, you're kind of a sizable favorite here. I don't know if it's going to come down to any critical kicks. If it does, I think it's probably in his head now. And it was another announcer jinx. We got one of those on Sunday with Matt Prater for the Arizona Cardinals. Needed the Seahawks in that one, and they said he's 23 for 23 in his career in game-winning or tying kicks in the fourth quarter, 51-yarder. Right. I mean, it never fails. But I think that would be in his head. I do think Tua will throw a pick in Arrowhead Stadium, which, by the way, Brown just informed me there are tickets available.
I just got an email from the NFL. Obviously, I get Dolphins, merchandise offers and tickets. Tickets available.
That's embarrassing. That means I didn't realize Kansas City fans were bandwagon fans.
I mean, and the weather's going to suck.
They're not, but the weather's going to suck.
I don't know that you can say they're not.
0 degrees,
do you think if this
below 0
was a divisional game and they were 15-2, you don't think it would be a hard sellout?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be crap weather, and that's why Tua's probably going to throw a pick. I think there's going to be some wind, too.
Is Miss Swift Kelsey going to be there?
I would imagine so.
Yeah, so those tickets will be gone like this.
Well, I don't know. They're advertising them.
They probably got the stage set up, and they had a few behind-the-stage seats left here for this one at Arrowhead.
I really think it does come down to, hey, John, do you want to go this weekend? You know what? We got a chance at losing. I don't think we're very good, and it's going to be shitty weather.
Yeah, and I've seen us win Super Bowls. I don't want to go watch us lose to the lowly Dolphins.
Yeah.
I would, but I would say expect Tua to go play in these conditions.
He's going to throw one pick.
In his first postseason game, don't forget, Tua was injured for the postseason last year. That comes as a huge shock to many. First postseason game, that's a big stage to be on. And who gets to play on Peacock? I mean, you're on Peacock? Yeah. What an honor. I mean, you're playing a game on Peacock.
I will say his last postseason game, he had a horrible game in Santa Clara against Clemson.
That's a great point.
Not his best game.
Yeah.
Third down.
Another sports one for me. All right, let me read it here. If I say 6 games this weekend, road wins, not covering or anything, just outright wins, over under 2.5. And if I need to back that number down to 1.5, I will.
I think you would have to back it down to 1.5 to get my attention.
Oh.
So you're saying
I think Pittsburgh and Green Bay have no shot.
Yeah.
So I think what Brown is saying, you would go under 2.5 and maybe over.
I would consider going over 1.5.
Oh, I would go over 1.5.
Yeah, definitely under 2.5.
So 2 is your number, is what you think.
Yeah, I think 2 is probably the number. I think it's 2 and 4.
Can you get to 3?
You could get to 3. I mean, if I told you Philadelphia beats your Bucks, the Rams beat Detroit, and Cleveland or Miami wins, you could get to 4.
Those are huge shocks.
Yeah,
no,
well, I was projecting Philly over Tampa and Buffalo over Pittsburgh with no TJ Watt. So there was 2. So I thought 1.5 was too easy. So I was looking for that third win.
I mean, so the Browns are a 2.5-point favorite on the road. That's the favorite team.
Yeah.
So you're taking a favorite there, even though it's a road game.
That's a relative pick, though.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, the Rams are a 3-point dog on the road. The Eagles are a road favorite at 3. So you got 2 road favorites just to get to 2.
I wouldn't be shocked if it was 4-2, though.
Yeah.
4-2 road
Either
teams?
way, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's do 4th down.
4th down.
By the way, chat room, I left the Rose Bowl. I'm not a fan. I didn't want to be stuck in traffic. This was a Rams game. I wouldn't have left. How about that?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Today, Rod Stewart, 80 years old. If I asked you the better Rod career, Rod Stewart or Rod Sterling?
Rod Carew.
Rod Woodson.
This is, you know, I'm
Rod
read up
Sterling
on.
was incredible.
Yeah, when I did this question, Rocky, I was looking at Rod Sterling. He's a creator of Twilight Zone. He also did Night Gallery, which freaked me out when I saw some of those reruns as a kid. He also wrote the screenplay for the original Planet of the Apes. But he smoked 3 to 4 packs a day.
Wow.
When he went
He
down.
wrote the screenplay for Planet, the original?
Yeah, I mean, he took it from a novel, but yeah, he wrote the screenplay.
You were thinking he was talking about the NBA commissioner, weren't you?
No.
Okay.
So he smoked 3 or 4 packs a day, was in the military, was a Golden Glove boxer, but he had 3 heart attacks within 2 weeks that finally killed him.
That'll get you most times, I would say, 3 heart attacks in 2 weeks.
He would come up with the Twilight Zone stuff, and they wanted a narrator to do it, and he absolutely, I think they could not find a narrator to introduce the clip, the shows, and so finally they said, Rod, would you do it? And he was so hesitant. He hated doing it, but he would smoke during those, too. He's got that voice, and we're going to go to a state of mind.
Yes.
But Rod, you didn't even mention Rod Grizzard.
Rod Grizzard, that's another good Rod.
His final
Rod
heartbeat.
Rutledge.
His final heartbeat went. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Was that the Twilight
Yeah,
Zone?
doesn't make it a good joke.
I would go Rod Stewart. I mean, he's had 6 number ones.
Okay,
He's had 10 top 10
songs from Rod Stewart. You know,
Maggie.
Do You Think I'm Sexy is one.
Yeah.
Maggie.
Maggie.
Who else is going to bring?
Young Turks.
Young Turks.
He was in Faces, which is a great song.
I think he
great
did
band.
a lot of people have. I think he did a version that made the hits Forever Young.
Yes.
Yeah, he
did.
Forever Young.
His number 1 songs on Spotify are Do You Think I'm Sexy?
No.
Winter Wonderland.
Winter Wonderland.
Maggie May's got to be up there.
Maggie May's number 3. All for Love, which he did with Sting and Bryan Adams.
Oh, All for Love and All for One?
Yeah.
Forrester. Hot Legs.
Sailing.
Hot Legs.
Terrible song.
Have I Told You Lately?
You know, I
like that one.
I heard him on Stern. I don't know if you heard that interview about a decade ago. And he was talking about, like, it was really hard for him to get a gig early on because he had a crooked nose, big crooked nose. He was an ex-soccer player, and people didn't like his look. And then he became like this massive heartthrob that was just going through supermodels.
Yeah, he was married to Rachel Hunter for a long time.
Yeah, Rachel Hunter back in the day. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not a big Rod Stewart fan, but I really haven't watched much of what the other old boy did, so I guess I'll go Rod Stewart.
While LT tells us about Slice, and then I remind you about our friends at Champies, can you pull up Rachel Hunter in her heyday?
Strong.
I don't want Rachel Hunter today.
Right.
She was Australian too, right?
Good day, mate. I think so. Tell us about Slice.
4 locations. Stop in. Maybe the Soul Pie today, the Bajaya Special, the Hot Mama. You're going to absolutely love it. Local pizza, local ingredients. 4 locations. A 5th coming soon. For more information, SliceBirmingham.com.
And Champy's world famous fried chicken open for lunch right now in the 11 o'clock hour. They bring you the 11 o'clock hour unbelievable Southern fried chicken. There's Sterling and the guys right there. Cooked to order, brined overnight, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, hand-cut chicken fingers, and so much more. Highway 119 in Alabaster. You cannot beat the food there. It is a destination location for lunch and dinner. Champy'sChicken.com. This is Rachel back in the day.
I think this is more recent, but
yeah, it's very recent.
She's aged gracefully.
Oh yeah,
Still very strong.
And she's
there.
probably close to 60 there.
Yeah, I think that person hugging person was a girl hugging girl. It was Rachel.
Yes, it's her.
I think I had that. That was swimsuit.
It is a swimsuit.
Swimsuit issue, Sports Illustrated.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she's been on a lot of covers.
Yeah. I mean that one to the far right.
There you go, right there.
Yeah, that one's fine too, but one right to her
she goes without makeup a lot.
Right to the right of the Cosmopolitan.
The one in the white swimsuit.
Yes.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Looks like a very young. That's a weird one where she's holding the gator.
It looks like a sick Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, she's got a lot of 80s hair in that one.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of 80s hair in all of them.
Good look right there in the white swimsuit. It was the same picture.
Uh-huh.
Good God, she's 5'11", bust 36C, waist 28, hips 36.
Has it got her social
shoes
security?
a 9.
Hey, so she's probably taller than Rod Stewart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I bet he ain't 5'11".
After all the stuff that he went through, the women back in the day, he told the story on Stern how she broke his heart. Like he couldn't get out of bed.
Oh, he's 5'10".
Yeah.
I just was not a big fan of his music, honestly.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
Rod Stewart, basically a glorified Vegas singer to me.
I think either my mom or my dad or both really liked him.
Yeah, I think all the women liked him. I mean, he did have a good, you can have good and bad raspy voices. I think he had a unique raspy voice. I just didn't really like the lyrics.
Yeah, I never really got Rod Stewart personally. Didn't really.
Can't believe he's 80 though, man.
Anyway, happy birthday. He's got his Colonel Sanders look on too.
He really does.
There was guys probably never went to Jackie Calton's office. He used to do traffic.
I knew Jackie, yeah.
But she had a huge Rod Stewart poster for like a decade in there.
How about that? Big fan, huh?
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah. Well, it's late September, and we need to get on back to this commercial break. Yes. Hemp Hill Services bringing you part of the show today.
Yeah,
LT.
call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure that unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090 for more information. Hard to stop a train. HempHillServices.com.
All right. Trash in the next segment and maybe little T in the next segment. We'll try to get that set up real quickly as well, all as we roll on right here on TNR.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
There's only one Champy's world-famous fried chicken. Poor boy's tenders, full fried chicken plates, and a little bit of the Mississippi Delta with chicken on a stick and hot tamales. On your way to or from the big game on Highway 119 in Alabaster, stop by Champy's Chicken.
When it comes to great clothing, I love comfortable clothing that I can also wear to the golf course or anywhere I go. I get that from Roback. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Whether it is the softest hoodies you'll ever find, they're great quarter zips, the polos, the pants, the crew necks, you can get them all at Roback.com, and we're helping you save. Your first order at Roback.com can get a 20% discount when you use code TNR20. That is Roback.com, code TNR20 for 20% off your initial order at Roback.com.
There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, prepared fresh, daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got two great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with walk-ons. The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call GutterCapBirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast. The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
ChampysChicken.com bringing you this hour and bringing you this update from last night when Taylor Corn returned to her Auburn campus and started pointing out buildings that she went to class in. Apparently just 2 buildings. Is that right? Just 2 buildings?
The business undergrad, like my first 2 years that were all just like the base classes, I guess. Those were in different places, but all my business classes, I showed Dunaway where I hung out in Auburn.
Yeah. And where you live too, right? You
I brought him by my old house.
Yeah. And then it was, we walked down this sidewalk right here. This is where we'd walk to this place, and we worked out here, and we went here. It was a fun trip. Champy's Chicken, a fun place for lunch as well. Highway 119 in Alabaster. Check out Sterling's Place for lunch or dinner tonight. They bring you this hour all the way through. Guys, ask Taylor who she saw at dinner.
Yeah, well, I kind of got the story a little bit ago, but you walk into dinner what time? 5:30?
I think it was around 5:15.
Yeah, we were joking that she was taking her grandpa to dinner because it was old person dinner time, 4:45, 5 o'clock.
But you saw somebody that you probably wouldn't expect to see on a game night, right?
Yeah, so we're sitting in Hamilton's, and I am facing the door, and in walks a very tall person that looks identical to Janai Broom.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
probably only one Janai Broom on the Auburn campus, if I had to
right,
guess. Yeah.
Right. And so I think I just said, what? And Dunaway turns around and said, that's Janai Broom. And I said, yeah, I thought, like, that's what I thought too. That's why I said that. But there's no way. I said he has a game in less than 3 hours. There's no way that he's walking into Hamilton's just in street clothes right now. And so Dunaway was like, okay, I have a solution to our, this mystery. I'm going to pull my phone out, and there's I guess, I don't know if it'd be called a partition, but like.
Yeah, there's a set of tables, a little bit of a wall, another set of tables, and then he's sitting at a table on the other side of the restaurant. I think I had a great idea.
Yeah, you did. The execution, subpar.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean,
I think Life magazine would disagree, but go ahead.
Okay, well, it depends what you were trying to shoot. So Dunaway said, we can find out right now. I'm going to just hold my phone up and take a picture, and we can, see if this is him.
Okay.
So Dunaway, we're just sitting in the booth. Dunaway's arm is straight in the air with his phone.
Right.
And I'm like, Dunaway, that way. You're angled the wrong way. He's sitting in this corner. So he pulls his phone down and looks at it and starts laughing. And I was like, did you get it? He turns his phone around to a picture of, it looked like it should have been hanging on the wall in there from like the opening date.
Yeah, it was a great pic.
Yeah,
it was a great picture.
For some reason in black and white.
I changed it to black and white because it looks iconic.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a great picture.
Oh, wow.
Janai Broom not pictured, but if that's this couple's first date and you're watching this,
I can't believe you guys are showing this. Did y'all?
Yeah.
Did I get from? Nope.
He wanted to ask if he could sell it to them. He said, should I try and sell this picture to this couple? And we laughed about it. And then I was like, okay, but we need to
This could be a PI extorting this woman. You guys don't even know the circumstances behind this.
Well, they were in a very public setting, so I don't know. It was funny, though. And then when we stood up, Dunaway was like, okay, you try and take. He was like, I don't know what you said you were going to act like you were going to do.
I would cause a distraction. You take pictures.
Yeah. And I'd actually try and take a picture.
Man, thank you guys for your service. You guys were fantastic.
Did you ever just think about going over and saying, can we get a picture?
Are these mints for the public?
Yeah. Dunaway's like acting like it takes 45 seconds to pick up a mint out of a little bowl. And so I get a picture. It was blurry, but we came to the conclusion that it was Janai. And I said, okay, well, I actually saw something on Twitter from his mom that said, hey, I'm on the way to Auburn. So I said, okay, maybe he's with his family. We walk out, get in the car, and I was like, I'm still just really concerned about the fact that Janai's at Hamilton's, and now we're probably pushing 2 hours till tip-off, would you say?
Yep. Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
2.5. And I was like, we need to get him out of, I don't know. We need to get him out of there. Is the team not there? I would think that they had to be there 4 hours prior.
Yeah,
Even
I mean,
if
it's
they're
a
not warming
different
up.
world right now.
Like she just heard Rod Slade say, if I just got my free throws up, I was all right.
Yeah.
She wanted me to keep the car running. When he came out, we were going to Uber him for free down to Neville.
And parking, downtown parking for those that have been to Auburn is not, there's not thousands of spots. Sometimes it's very hard. So I'm like, where's his car? Where did he park? There's traffic. I don't know what's going on. So we sit in the car and we make this video that if we think it's okay, I will send out. We were sitting in the car and we were like, should we go back in and retrieve Janai Broom and ask him if he wants to just we can drop him off at the front door. We'll ask him if he would like a ride to the game.
He's going to say, guys, y'all know tipping till 8 o'clock, right?
She's like, should he be getting like his ankles taped right now? Maybe I should run and get
He
CVS
probably
some athletic
had
tape.
his Range Rover in ballet.
Exactly, but I was concerned about it. And then I didn't want to send it out because I was like, I don't know, what if he's not playing for some reason, or if there's something going on that we don't know about. So
didn't play his best game, by the way.
Yeah,
that's true.
So that's why I was like, maybe we shouldn't. Or prior, I was like, what if this happens? I don't want to expose him.
So tell him what you said under your breath every time he missed a rebound or made a foul or missed a shot.
Hamilton's.
She'd lean over.
Dunaway,
She'd like Hamilton's.
I would just look at Dunaway and say Hamilton's. Hamilton's. But
maybe show up a little sooner.
But we were talking to someone once we got to the arena, and in conversation, y'all, I guess it was right after we left, I saw Janai Broom sitting at Hamilton at a table with his family.
At
2
6
hours before
o'clock.
time. We were like, us too. I was like, I've been sweating about this for 2 hours now.
I love how y'all think it's some sort of scandal.
Hamilton's.
I took the lead.
We get to Auburn Arena. We find out later. Team's not required to be there until 6:30.
Yeah,
hour and a half
why would
before
you?
kick.
I don't want them there all day.
We were filming. Dunaway was like a little ways down from where I was standing. We were trying to film something, and we see him walk in, and immediately we find each other in the walkway, and Dunaway just points. I was like, we're
he
good.
made it. He made
We're
it.
good.
Third one on the floor, by the way. He beats most of his teammates out there.
But yeah, so
all right, fun night with Little T back in Auburn. Time to do trash now, Rockstar. Hit the big button now.
Waves in opposition. Anita Dick is an opponent. Waves in opposition. Holden Hiscock is also an opponent.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
I still don't believe those are real. Sometimes.
Did the new year add to your financial uncertainty? Let the experts at Mortgage Right help get your financial house in order. Their team of experts can make sure you're prepared for anything 2024 may bring, including freeing up cash for the things you need to get done. Take control today. Visit Mortgage Right on Highway 280 in Birmingham. You can apply at mortgageright.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200. NMLS 2239. Equal housing lender. We start.
Wow, I got Starbucks with Zay Flowers 2 hours before the Dolphins game a couple of weeks ago. That's really cutting it close in football.
It did not affect his performance. Let me go ahead and tell you.
Maybe it helped him.
Ravens were just fine that day.
Should be a Starbucks commercial.
Yeah.
So out of Georgetown, South Carolina, a deputy was forced to use a taser on his own canine on Wednesday afternoon.
That's a sad story, Lance.
According to the Georgetown County Sheriff's Office, the deputy responded to the scene of a reported burglary around 4 p.m. A cow near the scene distracted the dog, which led to the dog biting the cow. To de-escalate the situation, the deputy tased the dog. Cow was spooked, struck the deputy and the property owner, resulting in, quote, minor injuries.
A lot of odds in that. A lot of odds.
Yeah, I would say so.
I think I'd let my dog, I guess, have it out with the cow. Wouldn't tase my dog.
What kind of dog is it?
That's
Probably
canine.
a German Shepherd.
No, it's either a German Shepherd or a Belgian Malinois.
Yeah, if it's a police dog.
That
I
was a
think
dachshund.
German Shepherd versus cow. Well, I might go German Shepherd there.
But see, in the
A
end,
cow's big.
In the end, I'm going to eat that steak, so I'm not going to tase my dog.
No, I think I'm going to shoot the cow.
Yeah.
Now, I don't own the cow. That's going to be a
I don't think a
problem.
tase is going to do nothing to a cow. There's a difference between a tase and a cattle prod.
But I'm a cow. I'm a cop. I got a gun. I'm probably going to put the cow down and eat it.
I don't think that would have gone good with the owner.
Then I'm going to slip, a good police officer carries 2 Alka-Seltzers in his back pocket. I'm going to slip that in the cow's mouth, close his mouth, and when it starts fizzing, I'm going to call the owner over and say, mad cow.
Mad cow disease. I'll put him down for you. Don't worry.
Don't worry. No charge. No charge.
Hey, Rocky, do you have any kind of video or still pictures on
I
this
have a
next?
still picture. I don't have a video.
When it comes to refreshing and reheating a meal from a popular restaurant chain in the microwave, there is one vital step to ensure safety. Remove any foil or foil-lined wrappers, right?
Right. That's a given. Yep.
This dude should be shot. One customer who may not have followed the vital step is now going viral after blowing up his microwave and returning to Taco Bell with a vengeance. Quote, "You're done. You're effing done. I'm going to sue your ass off." The man can be heard declaring to the employee. One of the managers in store, when asked if he would like new food, the man explained, "Plus, you guys are going to pay for my effing microwave. It blew up." Now, getting more and more agitated, he stated, "Oh, you're smiling," before slapping the employee across the face, to a chorus of shocked reactions from other customers and workers. It is unknown whether or not police got involved in the situation, but there are a lot of people out there that are hoping the employee presses charges for battery.
Yeah. I mean, slapping somebody over
Can you imagine
a Taco Bell order?
No, but getting the order, going home to reheat it in the foil, destroys your microwave. I'm going right back because they did not warn me.
Yeah.
And then slap it like that. That guy's day was great.
Yeah, you're a complete idiot.
First of all, that poor kid is just doing his job. And secondly, I mean, we got to have a little common sense. I mean, you know how a microwave works, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody knows you don't put foil in a microwave.
Yeah, since 1980 something.
Yeah,
right?
since pretty much you had microwaves.
He popped the shit out of it. Young
he did.
George Lopez, didn't he?
He did.
Chunky George Lopez.
A mullet or a little man bun.
Yeah.
George Lopez and Matt
It's
Murphy.
like,
had
really,
a
what
kid.
am I supposed to? I'm giving you new food. I'll tell you the thing I love about Taco Bell is most of these places skimp on their condiments. Like you guys remember the old, what was the place by the Galleria? J. Alexander's. they give you like a dollop of ketchup.
That's right.
I'm like, you're not going to run out of ketchup.
Taco Bell, they'll let you fill your purse up.
Yeah. How many you want? All of them. All right.
Yeah. And they're like, what? Yeah, what kind of sauces? I'll take hot, mild,
And fire.
Yeah.
And it's like they
and
just,
El Diablo.
big old
And
handful.
that's right. You don't have to say the number. They give you hands full
That's
of
right.
each.
Yep. Don't even ask.
Yeah. Somewhere in every kitchen drawer in America, there is Taco Bell
Yeah,
sauce.
I've got some in my fridge right now. Okay, the preferred method of wiping is not wiping, according to nationally renowned anal surgeon Dr. Evan Goldstein.
Boy, anal surgeon, you make that choice, right? You're like, you can go any way you want here in medical school, doc. I'll tell you what, I'll take anal surgery.
I'm just going to go ahead and say
Somebody's
I
gotta do
appreciate
it.
somebody
Yep.
doing it.
The world needs them.
For those of us that have suffered through it one time, I do appreciate it.
Now, Goldstein, who is also the CEO and founder of Bespoke Surgical, went on to say, quote, when you're looking at someone's anus to the left and the right are those wrinkles, it's like an accordion. It opens, it closes.
Right. Everybody knows that, Lance.
He says, I'm a huge bidet fan because it can thoroughly wash the anus without so uncomfortable reading this. Without harming it, he also recommended a quick shower or rinse if you don't own a bidet.
We all got one, LT. It's like opinions. We've all got one.
Said you can always make sure you're drying yourself. He said moisture is the worst thing. That's why he's definitely against anti-wet wipes. He said, quote, they're terrible, not only for the environment, but for your hole. There are so many companies out there throwing wipes. I think they should all be banned. I see 90 people a week in my surgical office. I would say 1/3 of all the people coming through are coming in from wet wipe induced issues.
Oh, wow.
I'm
a wet wipe guy.
So, but he's anti-wiping. But once I use the bidet, I at least got to wipe it dry.
Well, he says to kind of
dab it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't gonna get the job done. I hate to tell him.
My God, are you?
Well, I mean, dabbing it is not
Are you
going
a
to
mudslide guy?
There you go, Rockstar.
Rockstar.
When it comes to your anus, a little dab will do you.
Yeah, a little dab. No,
Do you think dabbing is going to do the job?
Well, I've never used a bidet.
Well, nor have
but
I, nor I
imagine-
don't desire to.
I imagine you're just drying it at that point. You're not really.
No, I'm talking about if you don't use the bidet, dabbing it is not
I've
gonna-
used a bidet just a couple of times.
I don't
and-
like the sensation.
We just use hand towels and wash them.
Well, the only reason I did it was because it
Old
does
school,
thoroughly
yeah.
clean, but normally it was like in an Airbnb or a hotel, and I would just use their hand towel.
Here, $1 million idea.
Well, after the bidet, you would just use the hand towel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
That seems.
Man, it cleans your ass.
Well, it sure does, but it doesn't clean the hand towel. The hand towel then now.
Oh,
has
well,
been
that ain't my
wiped
problem.
Well, I know. But it is the hand towel.
Follow me here.
Okay.
$1 million. We were talking about this up here in a different part of the body yesterday. Anus pick.
I'm going to pass on that, but you go ahead,
It's
Jim.
the shape of a fingernail. What are you talking about? Because I would need a thumb.
Basically, it becomes a bidet,
God.
but it's on a small little handle.
Oh, like a water pick.
Like a water
yeah, you're
pick.
going to need a much better name. Like if I were Shark Tank, I'd be.
And it has a little camera on it, so you can see it on your phone. Exactly what
So you've never used a bidet, but you've shit in a hole?
playing asteroids.
Yeah.
I mean, you had an outhouse, right?
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
outhouse? You don't have toilet paper. What do you have?
do, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You
I thought it was like leaves.
You
or
just
something.
bury it in the ground with all the
The
stuff.
toilet paper? Yeah, you throw it in the hole.
Yeah, because that stuff's biodegradable.
Do you burn it?
The hole?
Oh.
Yeah. No.
Can't imagine
you
that
cover
smell.
it up like a grave.
Okay, final story here.
Turns into diamonds, I'm told.
Do you guys think this would be fun or no?
Wait, is that a blue diamond with corn in it? Oh my God.
11:45 lunching hour.
You
You guys
got lunch for to laugh, but that's not easy to do.
tell me if you guys would want to do this or not. A North Carolina couple selling everything, taking off in a van for a 2-year trip.
That'd be a hard no.
Around the Western Hemisphere. I think this would actually be fun if you didn't have any like family ties.
Oh, if I got all the money in the world, I'd buy my little van that he's about to drive around in from my friends at johnsonrvcenter.com.
Looks like an assault vehicle.
Looks like the A-team second
It
string.
really does.
I thought it looks like the one we took to Indianapolis.
Or
little
the one they rolled in, Bill Murray and Harold Ramis rolled in stripes.
I was thinking of that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
would have been fine.
So Brianna and Jason Dragos got married in December. Now they say it's time for a new adventure. The couple said, I'm going to say these people are going to have a problem with their 401k one day. They have decided to sell everything in their home, and they're going to be living in a van for 2 years while they drive from Alaska all the way to Argentina.
Okay.
Now, Jason said, quote, living day to day is exhausting. Sometimes it feels like you're just going through a process. We don't want to live the same day over and over again. We want to be creators of our life. I like what you're doing, but you got to have some responsibility too. It doesn't seem realistic.
I would tell you this: if there was a way to keep updated on these people, I don't think those tires ever make it to South America.
Oh, well, I mean, if you want to follow them on social media, they're going to blog the whole thing.
So they're driving
somewhere that social media may go dark. Somewhere
in Mexico,
in South Mexico, and any of those islands, any of those countries, all the way down to South America.
Little word we like to call the cartel.
Yeah, it gets a little rougher.
Yeah. I'm going hard pass on that idea.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, are you a veteran looking for a VA loan? Mortgage Rise has been advocating for veterans since their company began. As a veteran-owned, operated company committed to your well-being, they can help you find the best terms available, guide you through every single step of the process. As a veteran-owned, operated company, they understand the difference between working with a veteran and someone who gets it and someone who doesn't. They've made it their mission to simplify the VA loan process. Call today, 205-815-9200. You can apply at mortgageright.com/TNR, NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Some people are saying, Stacy, it looks like the one from Tango and Cash. Bama Beth says
it was an armored vehicle.
A lot of people here on YouTube that live that van life.
Yeah.
Bama Beth is not one of those, I don't think. Outside of Franklin, one of our great female listeners.
One of my neighbors did this. Sold their house, bought an RV during COVID because they said we're going to homeschool our kids anywhere. We're just going to do it all over America. Anyway, we're going to do it all over America. So they literally sold their house a street over from me, bought an RV, and just toured America.
We made it to Warrior, turned around.
I mean, I don't know what happened to him. I guess my wife could tell you because she knew the lady. But, that happened.
When we did Bama and Bourbon the other day, Suttles was talking about his trip to Malibu, and he said, have you heard about Paradise Cove? And I said, I haven't. I asked Maddie about it because she's from Malibu, but it's a trailer park where the trailers, people actually live there, and they start at like $2 million. It's a trailer park in Malibu.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do people look down their nose at them?
No, thank you. No. I mean,
so if I'd have been born in California, I'd have been a millionaire?
A millionaire, yep.
Hey, yeah.
Wow. How about that?
What's the going rate right now in the Mud Puddle?
For a trailer?
Yeah.
Repossessed already, or?
I think
One time repossessed or twice?
A 2-year-old healthy dog.
Lunsford, you say you enjoy watching van build-outs. Tell me about that show.
No, just like on YouTube, like they're talking about, like they get a van and then they clear everything out. It's just cool how they like feng shui everything in a van to make it.
So you're
work.
telling me I was old by thinking it was a show.
No, there is a show on Discovery Plus.
I'm sure there is a show, yeah.
It's like a surfer guy, but he gets a couple in and they go, tell me what your needs. Like, well, my husband's a musician and I like to have my privacy. We like to want a big shower, so it shows him do the build out. Like, this is exactly how much space you have, and it's like a family of 4. Like, here's your privacy. It's like a little, I mean, it's cool to watch, but then like, that'd be cool for a week, but we're going to live here?
Maggie had this fascination early in our marriage with tiny homes, tiny houses. She goes, that just looks like it'd be so much fun. I said, to who?
Right. Do you remember that commercial?
That. Do I get my own and you get your own? Maybe.
Do you guys remember the commercial, the couple that lived in the tiny home, and it was like an insurance commercial, and it had like the dark camera surveillance, and he's in the bedroom and he's just beating the bed because he can't perform. It's too small.
Yeah. They're all cramped up in the bathroom.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. That was trash today. Appreciate Mortgage Right. One more segment to go as we roll on right here. 227 days from the start of the college football season on the next round. Brought to you by the wonderful folks at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. From the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studio. Back in a moment.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
There's only one Champy's world famous fried chicken. Poor boy's tenders, full fried chicken plates, and a little bit of the Mississippi Delta with chicken on a stick and hot tamales. On your way to or from the big game on Highway 119 in Alabaster, stop by Champy's Chicken.
When it comes to great clothing, I love comfortable clothing that I can also wear to the golf course or anywhere I go. I get that from Roback. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Whether it is the softest hoodies you'll ever find, they're great quarter zips, the polos, the pants, the crew necks, you can get them all at Roback.com, and we're helping you save. Your first order at Roback.com can get a 20% discount when you use code TNR20. That is Roback.com, code TNR20 for 20% off your initial order at Roback.com.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
For more than 40 years, Red Wing Shoes has been helping the hardworking people of Alabama. This is why Red Wing Shoes has created the 3-step comfort solution. Step 1, a certified fit specialist will use a 3D scan to electronically measure your feet and arches. Step 2, the fit specialist helps you get the appropriate footwear for your occupation. Step 3, customize your boot or shoe with a Red Wing orthotic. Whether you have a high arch or flat feet, Red Wing has comfort solutions for you. So experience comfort at its best. Visit one of the Red Wing shoe stores located in Pelham or Trussville. Legacy Credit Union has the ultimate game changer for your finances. With Engaged Checking, you can earn 3% APY on balances up to $15,000. You heard correctly, 3% APY. But it's not just about scoring with high yields. With Engaged Checking, you can get paid up to 2 days early. That means your paycheck, Social Security, tax refund, you name it, you get it early. So stop sitting on the sidelines and get in the game with Engaged Checking. Sign up today at LegacyCreditUnion.com or visit any 9 Greater Birmingham area branches. APY is annual percentage yield. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
When it comes to great clothing, I love comfortable clothing that I can also wear to the golf course or anywhere I go. I get that from Roback. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Whether it is the softest hoodies you'll ever find, they're great quarter zips, the polos, the pants, the crew necks, you can get them all at Roback.com, and we're helping you save. Your first order at Roback.com can get a 20% discount when you use code TNR20. That is Roback.com, code TNR20 for 20% off your initial order at Roback.com.
We'll see.
I'm just the idea guy. Cut 4, Rockstar. Final segment here. This is our Odie's Sound of the Day, LT.
Odie's Tavern. It's Wednesday, Rockstar. That means?
That would be trivia. Trivia.
Odie's team trivia every Wednesday night. I forgot. I guess we were out of town last Wednesday. So this will be the first time back in 2 weeks for me. Looking forward to that. We do it the Crestline location, the original, every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Get there early, enjoy some of the great food from Rodney Davis, some chili maybe, corn dogs, the Diablo sandwich, great burgers, award-winning wings. Stop in, see Will Haver and that great staff. Not only the location we'll be at tonight, but the newest location in Homewood. It's Odie's Tavern.
All right, Buzz Williams, who stands on the court way too much, and is way overdressed for modern-day college basketball.
Well, he really is. He never went to that pullover and COVID deal that everybody did.
Yeah, and by the way, will not talk to you when he's walking out of the locker room to start the second half.
Did you try to say hey to Buzz?
He walked right past me, and I was like, hey, Buzz, how you doing? Nothing. Not even.
I've always imagined he's a nice guy.
I bet he is. He just didn't want to talk to me.
Yeah, but why
dialed in.
That would be difficult to engage the crowd when you've got such a limited time. Because what if he talks to you and then the next day he's like, hey, Buzz.
I think Grandma Tiger is going to want to get a snapshot with him.
Number 2 wouldn't talk to me either. He was standing in front of me the whole first half after hitting those first 2 shots. Taylor was laughing at me.
That kid looks like he would be playing intramurals if you just saw book by cover.
I kept yelling at him. I'm like, dude, if you stand right here, they're not going to throw it to you. They have not thrown it to you one time, you standing in front of them.
You dogged out the tickets I gave you to Coleman one time. And last night, Jim Carson hooking you up with the tickets. Night and day. What a dick. But what I was going to say is you always have these irrational fears. Was one of them that like you were going to be looking at Taylor, ball was going to hit you on a bad pass?
I was hopeful that would happen.
I did not look at Taylor one time because I was
Jalen Williams coming into your lap.
Oh, 100%.
Hell yes. Oh, wait, what?
I fully, and I was warned before, keep your head on the swivel. The ball will end up at you at some point. And I was fearful of, because you can't get up in time, and they don't allow you to stand during action, so I couldn't be standing ready to go. So I was thinking the entire time, they're going to come diving for a loose ball, and I'm going to be the guy they're going to plow over. They're going to miss Granny Tiger and hit Grandpa Jim, and I'm going to go boom.
Yeah, but wouldn't you take one for not even knowing Granny Tiger?
Well, Jim's thing was this. He was like, what's going to be bad is I've given you Alabama.
This is Jim Carson, right?
Yeah. I've given you, Alabama fan, this great seat, and somebody important for Auburn is going to dive for a loose ball, and you are somehow going to defend yourself and sprain their knee or rip their ACL, and it's going to be your fault and circle around and back to me. That was the big fear.
Can you see Dunaway like fall to the side and Jedi Broom goes down, has to land on his wrist, breaks his wrist,
shatters his arm.
Yeah. I can see that 100%, yeah.
There were 1 or 2 Alabama fans that were they were like, somehow you're going to jinx Auburn tonight. And when Texas A&M took that 2-point lead, they were like, you realize if Auburn loses this, we're paying for you to go to every Auburn game the rest of the year. I was like, doesn't work that way.
Not those seats.
I don't think Jim's going to invite me back.
Yeah. Hey, here's Buzz Williams on the atmosphere there at Auburn Arena, Neville Arena last night.
You've had a lot of success in this building over the years. I guess, was anything maybe different you've noticed this year?
I'm not from here, and I know Coach Cohen, and I've known him since I was really young, and I love him, but I don't know anybody here. But I think the environment is like all that you want college basketball to be. Everybody's hollering at me and mad at the officials, and as far as you can see, people are standing up there. They're here as soon as we get here. I don't think they're all drinking water. I think maybe that the state liquor laws are probably different here than elsewhere. I like it.
What he doesn't realize, our state liquor laws are the strictest out there.
Yeah, but they're serving cold beer in there now, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah, to his point.
They not angling for Redmont vodka. Barkley seems like he could get that done. Was that an Asian, either Chinese or Japanese tattoo on the inside wrist?
I couldn't tell what it was. It was quick.
Yeah.
I saw it, though.
Well, first of all the people that sit behind the benches are big boosters, and they have a fan lounge pregame and halftime where they do serve alcohol. And then you have college students on the other quarters of the court
who probably had a little alcohol before the game,
who traditionally
will
have a cold beer or two.
Yeah.
Or is that the Wazoo?
No, I think it's Asian, some sort of Asian writing.
No, it kind of looks like initials, almost like a monogram.
Yeah, a monogram.
Yeah,
I've monogrammed my husband.
Yeah, I don't know if I can't, because you can't. That doesn't look Asian to me.
Hey, do you think Neville Arena is the toughest place in the SEC to play?
In the SEC,
that's what I said.
Yeah, when Auburn's good, yeah. I mean, Rupp and Bud Walton got to be there.
Yeah, well, it wasn't for Auburn the other day.
Listen, I'm just
Bud Walton can be though. There's no doubt. And Florida used to be back in the day when Billy Donovan had it cooking. Nobody wanted to go to the O-Dome.
I used to really like big arenas. But for basketball, I mean, that's a well-designed arena.
You can, I mean, Rupp is a big arena that's a tough place to go. Cameron is a small arena that's a tough place to go.
I just don't like big arenas.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Lance. I would prefer the more intimate Neville Arena, Cameron indoor setting.
And that becomes the question: what do you build for Alabama? They had 10,000 tickets sold last night. How many do you want it to be? 12?
No, I think 12. I think 10's about right. I would keep the ticket in demand. Make it such a difficult ticket night in and night out.
Yeah. I mean, that's something Alabama's going to do at some point.
Well,
hopefully in my lifetime.
You want a demand on your ticket, and there's a demand on Auburn's ticket right now, and you're selling it for the same amount of money. But what a demand does is it gets fans in there that have sacrificed to be at the game. There's a chance those fans are going to be more into the game. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you create a demand, it may not mean more ticket money for you, though. If there's a demand, you could sell them for more money. By the way. But it forces people to make a sacrifice to be there. So, I mean, those students stand outside for 2 hours in the cold. You better believe when they get in there, they're going to yell, right? Yeah. They've sacrificed to be there.
After the thawing off period, 100%.
Once the heat kicks in.
Jonathan says it's $12 beer at Coleman Coliseum.
I had some Bud Lights there last year. I thought it was more 10, but it might be. But they're bigger. They're like 24 ounces.
24 ounces?
So it's really two beers.
Hey, thank you guys for being with us today. And again, anytime that you're in the show, just give us a thumbs up. That helps us more than you'll ever know. Subscribe if you want to, but the thumbs up mean the world. We love y'all. Thank you so much. We got other programming coming out today. Disrupt the Media. These guys are about to talk to some of their football guys. But we're back with you live on this show, The Next Round, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.